Never mind. Go on. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Uh, while they were at this symposium, they too had kind of like both picked up on there was this group of insectoids. There was a couple Bolidias, which are like centipede looking creatures, and some Formians, which are like ant like insectoids. Both sentient and intelligent creatures. Um, but these members were kind of standing off to the side, not really mingling with the rest of the diplomats, which was obviously weird because this wasn't a type of thing where you're forced to come to. It's a you want to be here sort of thing. So the fact that they were here and weren't mingling was a little disconcerting. Both of them had kind of moved in to try and make conversation with these individuals to be kind of rebuffed. All of it was short, quick to the point sort of answers, obviously trying to get these two people to leave them alone. And this had been with any dignitaries that had gone up to these individuals. They were all met with kind of like this cold hostility. So everybody had kind of like slowly moved away from the grouping.
Sure.
Not feeling comfortable, Helka had continued to kind of like keep an eye on them. And Riot had gone so far as actually to use detect thoughts to see if she could figure out what was going on.
Sure.
What was really disconcerting about this is when she used detect thoughts, there was complete nothingness. It was almost like this these insects were being operated remotely and there was no actual mind inside them.
Okay.
About the point where they wanted to move in, there was an explosion in the back of the symposium hall, and it was right in the middle of one of the dignitaries coming up and like making this grand speech. If I recall, it was Premex Kumara who was making this grand speech about why it was so important that we be here together as an explosion happened in the back room. And at this point, the insectoids had kind of like moved to kind of block access to where the explosion had come to, where Helka and Raya proceeded to engage with them. The fight was pretty rough, and you could tell that these insectoids were hell bent on preventing anyone going to investigate where the explosion came from. After a pretty grueling battle, they had moved in to find that the computer system for Absalon Station, like the main security hub, had been hacked by these uh, insectoids. There was a couple that had been hacking this entire time, which is why the other insectoids had been standing out there, kind of preventing anybody from gaining access. Moving quickly, they had pursued these two out to the hangar bay. Uh, Luckily, our party members had ran into Werlo Traxel and John Smith, who had then proceeded to assist them, which was convenient because Werlo Traxel had his personal starship, the Undertow, on hand to follow after this swarm ship. After some pretty one-sided combat with the starship, um, the swarm, you could tell that it was clearly a
Wait, you got into some ship combat?
yes.
Oh, cool.
Uh, the uh, the swarm starship was clearly a small uh, one that was clearly meant for reconnaissance only. It was not intended to ever engage with anybody, which is as they started piecing the puzzles together, they could see that these particular swarm, as they kind of pieced it together, had come to hack defense information from Absalon Station and then get out and return it to the hive. But unbeknownst to them, Traxel's starship was pretty heavily outfitted with some really good weaponry, and they made quick work of the swarm starship.
Cool.
After taking out the starship, Traxel had moved his in to pick up the black box of the hive reconnaissance vessel and had brought it back down. After this, Traxel, John Smith escorted Helka and Raya up to speak with Premix Kumara Melacruz, who, with all the other Pack World leaders, had been kind of protected by the stewards immediately after the explosion, and that is where we're going to pick up. So Raya, you and John, as well as World Traxel, are up in the office of Premix Kumara Melacruz after the events at the symposium. John, I know you don't technically personally know what happened, but that is context. So you were leading as the captain of the starship, taking out that swarm vessel. But as far as context, you just know there were some insectoids that did some things at the symposium. Raya, this is right after where we ended last session.
Got
Cool.
it. So we're like moments after all that shit went down.
Yes, so basically you would have had time to pick up the black box, land the starship, and then kind of make your way up to her office. If you guys would like to do any RP on the way up to the office, we could go ahead and kick off with that as well.
Sure. You notice, so basically, to give you a brief description, I'm probably over like a hair or two over 6 feet tall. I'm very slender. I have a kind of a bulkier like chest build, like almost as if it's like a little unproportionate to my actual size. I don't remember the name of the character from the Star Wars movie.
K2SO.
Yes. Are you familiar with
Rogue One.
Rogue One?
Mm-hmm.
You know the robot from that? The
Yeah.
droid from that? So that's basically what my character looks like.
Okay.
Except, like, you can tell, like, there's are different parts of me that look. I look like a junkyard robot. Like, I just, like, you know, the hood doesn't match the color of the trunk, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
And you just see, like, my eyes, my circular eyes, like, one just sort of, like, goes white, and then the other one kind of flickers and, like, starts to, like, also expand out completely. And you can start to hear, like, the, like, 1990s, early 2000s internet dial-up tone.
No.
As I just start to go, Sorry about that. I just had to give a little update. I'm not feeling so hot after that. I'm not one to really buy the chips.
Okay, so we have the black box, right, though? Do we still have to crack that open? But now this robot is shortening out?
I
that where
am
we're
not
at?
shortening out. I am just rebooting, and I just kind of repeat myself for like a couple, like 10 more seconds, and then, you know, gain my composure.
Okay, so go ahead.
World kind of like turned to you. Raya, don't worry about it. The robot isn't going to decipher the black box. We will take it to Premix Kumara Melacruz.
What do you look like, Raya?
So I kind of wanted to go, we had the little like card there, so I want to do like the basic green, like Guardians of the Galaxy. Gosh, I'm blanking on her name. So I want, like, I'm
Mantis.
picturing, yes,
Oh,
yes.
Mantis.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm picturing like her green. My focus for at least my storyline, I definitely wanted it to be very like library nerd
Okay.
heavy, only because that's like her whole, like, especially the Lashintas, they're very like, they want to protect like the culture and the history. So that was my main focus. So when I picture her, I just picture this like semi slim green antennae,
Like
like,
Gretchen from Recess.
yeah, kind of, but like, and then like I don't like I know about battle, right? Like I know about like fighting and all these weapons, like I know
you've
about
read
it, but
about
I've
it?
never, yeah, but
Okay.
but I'm very like uncomfortable with using it, so like I
Sure.
kind of know how, but like I've never
Sure.
actually done it.
Got it.
So I have
Okay.
experience on like the knowledge side. So that's how I picture mine. I still very much like the let me try to pull it up fucking. The one that came with the thing. So I still have my little like computer on my forearm where I pull up like my spells and stuff.
Like a little Buzz Lightyear wrist.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
literally, because that's how it is
Okay.
in her thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. I could get down with that.
So I love that. I love her like picture. I don't think I have any complaints like on anything with that other than just her backstory. I think she's a little too combat-y
Sure.
for her picture. But that's my origin. That's my visual. So in my head, I'm probably in a situation like trying to think back like on all the books I've read, like, okay, what's our next plan? We need to like I'm looking at this whole situation logically on like, okay, what can we do to gather as much information as possible on what to do next?
I agree. I think we should also take a logical first step by talking to Mrs. Carmilla Missoula, or whatever her name was. Uh, Fun fact, as vast and wide as the universe may be, it is actually mostly made up of empty space. And I am excited to find out if also your mind shares similar qualities. And I begin walking forward.
Okay. So do we need to find a plane or how can we get to her?
uh,
It's like as you imagine any sort of like sci-fi urban city. There's little shuttles between different areas. Um,
Okay.
if you recall, the jaunt from the hangar to the server room that they had hooked into, which isn't necessarily the main server for Absalon Station, but they had used it as an access point to hack in deeper. Uh, that was only about, I think that was what, 200 yards or something like that to the nearest
Yeah.
hangar. From that actual server room, as you make your way back to the symposium, you guys would hop into a shuttle, make your way over to like the main section of Absalon Station, where you get in like a series of elevators to make your way up to the top of like the pack leader area. Hers would not necessarily be up in the upper echelons of it because she's specifically over Absalon Station, but part of the board. Um,
is this the same planet that like the whole planet is a city basically?
yes. So if you
Okay.
recall, Absalon Station is
With
like
the levels and stuff?
yes. So this is they call it Galarian, so it would have been like our Earth. It's the
Oh, okay.
third planet from the sun rotation. Galarian just disappeared during the gap, and no one knows where it went. But at that same time, it had been replaced with this station.
Okay.
So it's set to
That's
run on like
hella suspicious.
yes. It runs on a normal like 24-hour cycle. It's all artificial though, so the gravity's artificial. The day-night cycle is all artificially created because it's not a actual organic planet. Um,
It's
but
just like a big spaceship.
yeah, but though the
Like a
interior
Death Star.
looks yeah the interior looks like a big urban like futuristic city. Uh, kind of think like the size of like as far as population like Asia.
Okay. Is there like the equivalent of pigeons flying around?
I would say there's some little flying creatures. They wouldn't necessarily be pigeons, but they would be like some like alien sort of like uh, lizardish sort of things that came from the Vescarium that have like gotten rid of any pigeons that would have came from Galarian. Um,
Gotcha.
but
Okay.
there's your normal vermin that you kind of see
Sure.
in the urban, not in the main like nice shopping districts, but as like you get into the more rundown sections, you see these a little bit more commonly.
Before we make our way to like the actual office of this lady, I just look over to Raya and I'm like, so what is it with the box? What's in the box?
I'm assuming in the box it's going to tell us at least a timeline of what these creatures were after or why they chose to bomb the location where all these really important people were meeting.
Hmm. Got it.
So it's very important that we at least take a crack at it.
Colton, are you familiar with a black box?
In what context?
What a black box actually is?
No.
Okay, so on aircraft, a black box basically records all like takeoff, land, like destination information. It's basically like an ongoing log of the aircraft. So a black box will be retrieved out of like a crashed aircraft to see what happened to cause it to crash, where it's been, like all of that data. So it's basically it's just computer data of where the starship's been.
Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Um. Also, I don't know if we have to use credits to like go on these like little shuttles slash elevators, but I was thinking for like maybe one or two of them, I could like stick my little pinky robot finger out, and the tip opens up, and I give it a little shock, and we get to do it for free or something. You know what I'm saying?
With you and Shanti being the like leading force for her task force, um, you guys have been basically given like the multipass card.
Oh, okay. The fast pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys have access across the city. Raya, you would not
And
at
then
this
I'm
point,
just
but
like,
you are
I'm
being
with
escorted by
them.
them.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, then we just make our way on up then.
All right. As you approach up to her office, John, you are familiar with this, but it's essentially kind of like this nice, comfy sort of like anytime you think of like a big politician sort of like comfy room, there's like a couple like lounging chairs, as well as like a big desk in the center there, and there are a couple chairs to sit in front of the desk as well. Wero Trax will kind of like walk in ahead of you and hand over the box to Premex, Kumara, Melacruz.
Melacruz.
This is what we could retrieve from the swarm vessel. Raya, please fill us in on the information we are missing before John and I got on scene.
So we noticed with John Smith that there was some weird stuff going on with these horde-like creatures. And then as we tried to engage and find more information from them, kind of like why they're being so suspicious, there was a huge like bomb went off. I could tell that we're searching for something, but they were being very secretive. And so we tried to engage, but unfortunately they did get away. But we did end up with this box that we are attempting to find resources to open up. So if there's any way that we could pull some leeway to open this box.
Gosh dang.
Oh my
Child.
goodness.
What a cutie.
The Premex kind of rubs her brow for a minute. Was there any indication of what they were after? What their target was? The bombing seems so unfocused. All of the Pact world leaders were on the opposite side of the room. The bombing would have never done any damage to us. What were they after?
So I don't think we know yet, which is why we are hoping that this box will point us in the correct direction. I don't think that they were necessarily targeting. I think the bombs were more of a distraction so that they were able to get a hold of something. What that something is, I don't think we figured that out just yet.
You, if I recall, you would actually counterhack them to find out that they were trying to get information on the defenses of Absalon Station.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So it looks like they were just trying to gather intel on our station, possibly in a motivated attack. Obviously, this would put a lot of the higher senior leaders in high alert for a possible attack if we have our enemies trying to gather our defenses specifically. This is obviously of the utmost importance that we gather as much to know exactly what they were after.
This is indeed troublesome. I think you were right.
Troublesome indeed.
Thank you, John.
Of course.
Do you have any indication of who might possibly be wanting to hurt us? Are there any rumors that maybe we have not heard of yet?
Well, if you look at what the symposium was for, it was our reaffirmation of our joint cause against the swarm. And what you've told me is it was what appeared to be mindless insectoids, which is the exact MO of the swarm, specifically the hive mind. And they were targeting our defenses, or at least information on our defenses. This would lead me to believe that the swarm are planning another attack on the Pact worlds, which is very disconcerting. I'm glad that you guys were able to retrieve this black box. With this information, we can see, or hopefully see, what other worlds this reconnaissance vessel had went to. But with any black box, it's going to take time to scrub through and see all the different information here.
Timeline are we talking about? I've studied many of these black boxes. I'm sure we have someone that is capable of breaking in.
Yes, we have plenty of people to break in, and as you're familiar, it's going to be all different types of code that they're going to have to pull up and then filter through. It depends on how long this black box has been running, which will determine how much information they'll have to filter through to see what has been going on. We'll probably... sorry. Go ahead, John.
What do you suggest that we do in the meantime?
She looks over at Raia. It appears to me that you've been pretty banged up from your encounter with these insectoids. Wuro, please make sure that both her and Helka receive 1,000 credits for their valiant efforts on the floor below. Please take this time to rest, recover. I'm sure you're going to need some time. Go down, pick up some additional equipment, and if you don't mind me asking, we could use your help. John and Shanti have been trying to form a task force to head back down into the ghost levels to track Steel Talon.
It was a fucking dragon. A literal metal dragon. Well, it went lower. Much lower into the depths below.
While Steel Talon is a very big concern, one of the other things we need to make sure we find additional data on is in relation to the initials BRT.
Ah, yes. Bacon, lettuce, and tomato.
I'm looking at you all like, really?
Yeah.
If this is who I believe it to be, we may have two major threats to the Pact worlds concurrently upon us. Please give us about 2 weeks to work through this black box. I think that should be plenty of time for you guys to work through, rest, recover, and make your way back through the ghost levels.
Of course, yes.
Of course, and while I may add, I have always appreciated the amount of 90-degree angles in this room. as I just kind of like look across the office.
Yeah, you got like all this crown molding that's exactly 90 degrees instead of like the
Right.
like beveled curves of
Right.
it.
And everyone's just looking at you like, of course. Yeah, this guy.
All right. With that, Mela Cruz will thank you again for your services. She'll pick up the black box and then she'll head into the door behind her um, as she makes her way to kind of meet with the Pact Council. At this point, uh, as far as like meta wise, Rhea, you're going to need about, uh, I think it's, how much HP were you missing? I want to say it was like 10, or was it 8? Let me look at your sheet real quick. So you need 8. So you're going to need at least 4 days with a minimum of 8 hours of rest to get back up to full health. So I would say at a minimum, you guys have 4 days to work with to kind of like shop, go around the town, um, anything that you guys would like. Basically, as long as you're getting 8 hours of rest, you'll be able to heal back up. For you guys, Colton, we talked about it earlier, is um, you're going to get whatever it's 1 HP per level every 8 hours of rest, or 2 HP per level for every 24 hours of bed rest.
Okay.
So,
I'm actually at full health right now.
yeah, you should be at full health because we just converted you to the Cruel Rules. Helka, though, is down
Oh,
8 HP from the previous encounter. So she'll need at least 4 days of 8-hour rest or 2 days of 24-hour bed rest.
Okay.
But this will give you time to do any shopping that you would like to do. So if you've researched anything, based off of my message I'd sent earlier, anything level 1 or 2 you can expect to find in the city. Anything higher than that, we'll need to roll some D100s to see if you can find it, and then hopefully you have enough credits to purchase. John, I know you should have some credits left over from last session. Riot, you
Yeah.
now have an additional 1,000 credits from whatever you had in your inventory.
Okay.
Where's the space for credits on the character sheet?
It should
It's
be.
under inventory.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're adding 1,000.
Oh god damn. I'm rolling in the credits, yo. How do I add
I think if you click on the credits, it should then pop up a plus or minus, if I recall.
let me try
Yeah.
reloading. The box like highlights as if I can click on it, but nothing happens when I do.
That's weird.
I'll just track it. That's fine. Okay, so is there a way for me to like look up the equipment available to potentially purchase?
If you go to edit and then go to like weapons and armor tab, that sounds rightish.
Okay.
Let me pull up Shanti so that I can just walk you through. So if you're wanting to look at if you look at the stream, once you go to the edit, if you go to equipment, you can then select what specifically you're looking for, and then you can search. There's also filters, so you can set it to specific levels, so that you're not going higher or lower on there. For you, John, whenever you're trying to tweak inventory, it should be able to just click this, and then it should pop up like that. If that's not happening, then I don't know what's going on with your character sheet.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing. I don't know why that's not popping up.
If you don't want to go into the edit one, you can also just hit add equipment and then search,
Oh, okay.
but then that requires you to know what the equipment is without looking. So,
Oh, right.
so I would say the
Okay.
easiest to go to the creator one and then look at equipment from there, because it's going to show everything. Oh no, yeah, guys, take your time. Like, we're not in a major rush on any of it. Um, so, like I said, level 1 and 2, expect that you can find it here and Absalon Station. Anything higher, we'll roll some dice for. But I don't know if you'll have credits to purchase anything too much higher than level 1 or 2 gear. So
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
saved a lot of your credits, John, because
Yeah.
your Sonic Bolter or whatever is super strong at the moment. So
Mm-hmm.
I only have like 400 left.
so you have 1400 with the 1000 you just picked up,
Mm-hmm.
which
But
I would say
still not
I
much.
yeah, it's not much, but I would probably look at like maybe a sidearm or something like that, just so you have a ranged option. Because I think at the moment you just have like a longsword, right?
Uh-huh.
That way you just have more options in combat than having to be up in the face of your enemies,
Yeah.
or even just healing serums or something like that.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Price.
Because I
I feel
think
like I
those
have to
are.
go run laps.
Oh yeah, I got distracted. I was gonna switch up our ambience.
No, I was just trying to be a little shit.
Oh no, you're good. I think that was part of what worked for Call of Cthulhu last night was the ambience was just right for a lot of that.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Ooh, a sticky bomb grenade.
What the fuck is an emotion regulator?
So
This
that you as an android can show emotions correctly. Is that what it
Oh,
is?
I thought it was gonna be like some Xanax, like throw some Xanax at these enemies.
Yeah, it just gives you +2 to insight.
Which, if I recall, don't you have like a -2 modifier on insight because
Yeah,
it's charisma based?
I'm not necessarily like as a player. I thought that was intriguing, but John could give a shit less about emotional regulators. Everlink
Well,
Pro.
I guess because when you're looking at it for the people, because the ones that the hive that we fought in the last one, they were like completely out of their mind, like something had taken them over. So if you use one of those, I wonder if it would show like their actual emotions. Does that make sense where I'm going?
Uh,
Because like, are they scared of the hive? Or are they like are they being
maybe.
taken and then
Um,
being used, or are they like with them? Are they besties, or are they under attack themselves?
we could do a history check for how well you know how the swarm works. For that particular item, though, what John was saying is meta wise, what it does is it gives you a +2 your insight rolls. So it just
And
gives you a better
-2 to
chance of being
something
able to
else.
read someone else's emotions.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Or any insight roll, but that might be a one specifically that you would apply it to.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm gonna try and buy another gun because I got a beastie of a weapon right now.
Yeah, I think you were
But
saving up for an armor upgrade.
yeah, I don't. I wish I had the book because I don't remember what it was called.
Well, you could look. So if you go to there should be a section that says armor upgrades, right?
Oh yes, yes, yes. So let
And
me
then
go
you could see
through.
what the options are, because you're gonna have more option than my book had in here.
Oh, jump jets.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, okay, DM. I'm ready to buy my things. I know what I
Okay.
want to get.
All right, John. As you kind of make your way down, uh, you had made this decision a while ago that you wanted to be able to fly.
Uh huh.
And you know exactly what vendor because you've been walking past this vendor the last pretty much every day for the last couple weeks
Yeah,
as you
I
make
have
your
their
feeble
number.
attempts to hire recruits, and now you have
Yeah.
the credits to make this purchase.
Yeah, as I'm like making my way down to the shop, I'll just like kind of be singing to myself the tune. How much are the jump jets in the window? And I just sort of like make my little robot booty kind of up into there.
And you see, it's have you seen what is it, Passengers, like the little robot guy at the like bar where it
Oh
like zips
yes,
over.
yes,
So you see like a little robot like zip over, and it like turns. Good day, sir. What could I do for you?
yes. Good day, indeed. I would like those, but do you have it in red? And I point over to the jump jets.
What color red would you like? Fire engine, scarlet, auburn, solar flare,
uh,
crimson blood.
so many options. Wow, I don't even fire truck red.
Fire truck red it is. And he'll like you'll see the vroom as he like goes to the back room and there's like chink 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 beep 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 beep.
Robots, everybody.
Do you have the credits?
Of course, and I just start like counting out each credit individually. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my god.
Despite the fact that they're loaded on a cred stick, so like he is like manually
Oh, right.
he's like manually withdrawn individual credits.
I picture some like Android pixelated like screen just opening up a like small woman's wallet and just one coin at a time. But it's like a screen on just his own body.
Right. There's like the line behind me.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so I'll pay for the jump jets, and I want to like get that equipped onto me.
So he's gonna hand you the box.
What? Oh, sorry.
He's gonna hand you the box. Thank you. Come again. Maybe more efficiently next time. Burp. Next in line.
Yeah, and I
Doesn't even wait for you.
Yeah, I'll like start going out the door trying to put like on the jump jets. You know, how does it work? How do I put it on?
For androids, it should be pretty much plug and play. So like your body's malleable. For other people, like they would have to be like essentially what it is like it's grafted to whatever body parts. The jump jets are going to be installed in the legs. For you, you're basically like opening up a compartment, installing the legs. For humans or like other organic creatures, they would like have to go somewhere to like actually get it installed.
So I imagine I almost put it like around my waist, and like the jump jets kind of like go down the sides of my legs, so it like kind of shoots out the back side. And as I finally get it like nice and equipped, and like you can see my interface is now like becoming familiar with the new technology, and it's like everything's lighting up, and I say, "That's right, Daddy got a new belt." And start kind of like making my way through town.
Yeah, so you've now got this like black robot with these fire engine red legs, or at least like the back like calf area.
And it doesn't
That
look
low-key
good.
sounds badass though.
It does,
Low-key,
yeah.
that sounds badass.
The thing is though, it doesn't look great because my whole body looks like a junkyard parts, and I've got like a new ass basically. I did want one more thing.
Okay.
It's called the Everlength rope, I think.
Okay.
And it's a 50-foot rope that like you can cut it off, and it will immediately start to regrow back into a 50-foot rope, but it's like 2 feet every 2 hours.
Okay.
So like hypothetically, you could cut the rope in half, and then like in 2 days have 2 50-length ropes.
Okay. What level is that one?
Let me double check. Hold, please.
While y'all do that, BRB, I'm gonna go check on my kids.
Okay.
Okay. Equipment. Where? we go. It's an item. It is a level 2.
Okay, perfect. So, down the same sort of strip in the Absalon Station like shopping district, there is like the main hub for item sales. It's ran by Abadar Core, which is kind of
Okay.
think of it as like the mega corporation of the Pact worlds. Like it's one of the main commerce ones. It's even got its own like religion associated with it.
So it's like capitalism taken to the extreme.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cool. It's like everybody worshiping Kroger.
Basically, yeah. It's commerce and like progression is kind of like the theming behind this is like
Oh,
it's
okay,
driving
okay.
becoming better essentially. They're not
Sure.
like restrictive or like keep other corporations out. They basically incorporate everybody else into them if possible.
Oh, so they kind of use China's approach. I just kidding.
I was gonna say
find
that
shit.
that's not necessarily inaccurate. There's just less hostility associated with it. Like it's not like
Right,
hostile
right,
takeovers or anything like that.
right. Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. I'll, uh, I'll kind of make my way around the market trying to find some of this special growing rope.
And you see, it's almost kind of like that. I wouldn't say Walmart because it's higher quality than that, but it's like there's just a shelf that's got like plenty of these in there. It's not a common
Sure.
item for most people to pick up, but because it's a little it's a little pricey for the average goer. But you could grab it right off the shelf and head over to the counter.
Cool. I'll grab one of them, and I think it's like 840 or something like that. 820.
Perfect. Good day, sir. Is this all for you?
Yes, I have heard that this rope grows back. Is it true?
Well, we don't lie about our products, sir.
I sure hope not. And I pull out my credits and start because I still have some leftover individual credits for my previous purchase. I'll only count out 100 individual credits and then use the rest of my credit stick or whatever the fuck card or whatever it is to pay for the rest.
Well, this isn't the most efficient. You are aware that cred sticks are commonplace at this point in time, right? Like,
It's really for my entertainment.
well, I'm glad one of us is having fun.
Yeah.
As he then has to count back all of the individual
Yeah.
credits that you gave him to put in a register so that they could be uploaded to a new cred stick.
Wow.
And then with the remaining, you just insert the cred stick and it instantly does the conversion.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Sorry
you.
about that. You're welcome.
Please
Maybe I
enjoy
should
your
leave.
never-ending rope.
I will, and I'll sort of like throw it over my shoulder, and I guess I'll make my way back to maybe meet up with Raia or something.
Okay.
Wow.
I was going to say, while we're waiting on her to come back, is there anything else that you would like to do over like the next 4-day-ish time period? So you don't necessarily need the rest and relaxation, but any recreational sort of things that you would like to do, or
Yeah. Let's see. Because a part of me is wondering if, like, is where I'm doing the shopping commonplace for different people of different lifestyles to go?
oh yes, this place is bustling. Think of like it's not as like run down as somewhere like Bangladesh or something like that, but it's like there's vendors all along the streets. It's nicer store fronts, but there's just
Okay.
people kind of
Okay.
up. Or New York City would be a better example. Like
Okay.
the streets pretty crowded, and there's just people bustling up and down. So all kinds of walks of life, because Absalon Station is kind of like the hub for the Pack worlds. So you've got Vesk, you've got Lashuntas, you've got Kathasas, you've got Yoski, you've got some Gray, which are like your stereotypical like alien from like our world or whatever, like the gray, tall, lanky, big head, elongated head.
Okay.
You've got Dragonborn. You've got High Elves. You've got pretty much any sort of walk of life is on this street.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Do you mean Dragonborn in the fantasy sense?
Yes, there fantasy races exist. So every
Oh,
fantasy
okay.
race that you're common with would have, at least for the most part, would have originated on Galarian, and as it progressed, so like think Pathfinder races started on
Uh-huh.
Galarian, and as they advanced, they started spreading across the solar system. So all of those races exist. They're a little out of touch with this high-end technology, or at least a lot of them are. Especially as
Gotcha.
technology is kind of like taken precedence over magic. Uh,
Right.
so
Magic's become more niche.
yes, technology functions sometimes more efficiently than magic. So like
It's
everybody
like an
can use
onward.
technology. Yeah, everybody can use technology, whereas only highly specialized individuals can use magic.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You know what? Um, because I assume that my circumstance as John is special. I don't know how common it is for someone to end up in this position I am in, as far as like the backstory we talked about.
Yes.
So I am going to take a stab at that. And now that I have the downtime, I'm going to spend the rest of my time um, researching AI, and maybe I'm like a form of artificial intelligence or something. So I'm gonna like I don't know use some sort of resource or whatever. Maybe find
You could
some
kind
information
of
on
lock
that.
into this. So there's, like World Wide Web here. That is a thing that exists on every planet that everybody has access to, free of charge. So you essentially have
Okay.
access to the internet. So you could use that as a means of researching. Please give me what skill? I want to say either not history. There should be one that's.
Physical science, maybe.
I was gonna say computers or
Well,
physics.
physical science is the study of non-living systems.
Yeah, it would be like physics, uh, chemistry, or not chemistry. Chemistry kind of fall into the
Cool.
life science.
What
But
about artificial intelligence? Would that be
I
a
yeah,
physical
I could see the
science?
argument for physical science. So either a computers.
I'm only arguing for that because I have a +5.
Yeah, I would say either of those makes sense to me because you're kind of like going into the theoretical physics sort of side of it. Uh,
Okay, okay, yeah. I'll take
Life
a stab
science
at
would
that.
also be a valid one because now you're getting into like
Well,
some
life
soul
science
question,
is living things.
right? But that gets into some soul stuff, which is what would
Oh yeah,
apply
I
with what
guess.
he's searching for right now.
I'll go with the yeah. All right, hold on.
Yeah, just tell me which one, and
Not
that'll kind of
bad.
deter.
Yeah, I will go with physical science, and I rolled a 22.
Okay. Oh, pretty solid. As you've done enough, kind of like searching what we'll call the Absalon server of the Pack Worlds.
Like Reddit threads and like
I,
forums.
I feel like John would probably go a little bit
Wiki.
more scholarly sources than that, but
Yeah, for sure. Like papers and
it'd be
stuff.
like the Pack Worlds worldwide server, but specifically the Absalon Station subserver. You would
Gotcha.
you'd pull up some sort of research um, that goes back to some early technomancers that had attempted to bring life to machine in the
Oh,
early days. Now
how
it
many years
doesn't.
ago?
Uh,
Is this before the gap?
no, it wouldn't be that far back. It would be fairly recent. Essentially, they were trying to determine if there's a way to make robotic life more than just animating machinery.
Right.
Because technomancers basically just animate machinery temporarily and then it kind of falls back apart. They wanted to know, as technomancers, if there was a way to make that robot permanent and have its own personality and sentience. But
What
as
came
you,
of all that?
as you kind of like keep diving deeper and deeper into the research of this, you realize that like it kind of, from what you can tell, went into a dead end. The most of the technomancers realized that this would require some harvesting of souls in order to achieve success, and realizing how taboo that this would probably be, most of it died.
Are there any names associated to the papers I researched?
Um,
Potentially of the technomancers or someone who published the study?
it's attributed to the we'll go with the Absalon Station School of Technomancery. And it's
Okay.
basically like a collaboration of like some of the highest professors in that school.
Okay.
As you continue digging, you actually see one. It was a upcoming student in the School of Technomancery that seemed to try and rejuvenate this study and push it deeper. All you have is a last name, and it's Tohak.
Tohak?
Or Tohak.
Tohak? Okay.
Tohaak. So you only have a last name.
Got it.
From what you can see is this individual had kind of delved so deep into it that he had been threatened of being kicked out of the technomancery school due to kind of going after this taboo research at this point because it involves souls.
As far as the timeline goes, is this after the initial plunge into? Okay.
Yes, you would say this is probably about 25 years old.
Okay, got it. That's it for me. Unless if I end up bumping into Raia to talk, I'll just be doing that.
Perfect. Raia, is there any shopping that you would like to do? And if not, or if yes, is there any activities that you would also like to do? So you're going to have about a four-day down period to do anything personal in Absalon Station before making your kind of way down to the ghost levels again.
Like research or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. So John, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Did you want to finish?
Yeah, I was just going to fill you in. John went and purchased the rope. And then after that, he had kind of went to research some personal stuff for him with his situation as an android, which I know you got the back end of. So.
Okay, but technically my character doesn't know that yet, right?
Yeah, you as a player know, but your character doesn't.
Yeah.
Cool. So the only thing that I wanted to purchase was the Carbon Edge Shuriken.
Ooh, that sounds dope as hell.
Shit, are you kidding me? Oh,
So
that's fucking badass.
So it's a throw. It's not like a gun or anything.
Sure.
Which I thought was safe for my character because she's probably still not comfortable. Even when she attacked with the
jolting surge.
She was, yeah, she was still kind of like.
It's like I don't think.
Yes, like salt hand, like I don't want to hurt you, but you're about to kill me, and the other guy only had like one thing of life left. So I don't think I'm comfortable with a gun yet. I know plenty about them, but I'm not comfortable. I'm not confident. So I figured I should do a throwing one. And
that's fucking badass. I like to think that they're like sort of digital almost, like can have like a artificial glow off of them. I don't know.
Or we could go, Raia, if you would like this for flavor, it's kind of like a little pouch, and like you tap it and like it generates the little metal shuriken out of the pouch, and then you throw it because it like digitizes the shuriken.
Sure.
I love that.
Or it spits out like the CD player. You
Yeah.
have it.
Yep. It's like a DVD you haven't heard
Yeah.
of. Or like the Britney Spears "Baby One More Time" CD.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so it's a four-armed
Wow.
pacifist.
Okay, what
So I'm
level
assuming
weapon
something
is
like
it?
that. I narrowed it down to 1 or 2, so level 1.
Okay, so you could definitely find this. In fact, as you're kind of walking down the shopping district of Absalon Station, it's almost like paying homage to the old Clarion uh, Japanese culture. So you see, it's kind of got like the Japanese emblems up on it, showing like all the samurai sort of like wear and everything. As you make your way in, you see an individual. Welcome to my store.
I am looking for a carbon edge shuriken, if you have any.
Oh, a very fine choice. Please,
Oh,
one
yeah,
moment.
yes.
And he like goes back, and it's in this like ornate sort of box. And it looks traditional. So like instead of it being like this metallic sort of like anything, it's like a bamboo box
It's like a
with
red
like
box with
ribbon
gold trim.
over the top of it. As he hands it to you, will you be playing with your cred stick today?
So I'm looking at this already terrified, thinking I might have made a mistake.
Oh no.
So I'm looking at this box like, ooh, is this too powerful? So I'm giving you like random looks like how powerful is this? Would this be considered like a beginner weapon?
Well, everyone has to stop somewhere, ma'am. And
Okay.
as far as power goes, well, everything is going to be determined by the user. So if you're not wanting it to be too powerful, you get to make that choice. In the hands of an elite assassin, a pencil could be used to kill. Whereas someone like me and you, that's maybe just a ordinary utensil to write with. So
Well, it's for I'm buying it as a gift. I'm buying it as a gift.
This isn't for me.
That
This
sounds
isn't for
great.
me. This is for
Yeah,
Fred.
no, for sure, for sure.
and you see
Okay.
like the kind of like glint in his eye and like a small smirk. As you wish, ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah, on credits, please.
Thank you. Please enjoy, or whoever you are giving this to, may they enjoy.
Yes, as I awkwardly walk away holding the box. Okay, so from here, so I'm feeling like this is already enough weapons. I'm good. So I'm probably gonna try and do similar research with my downtime. I'm probably gonna go back to books that I've already read to kind of see if I could strike something of familiarity, possibly with either the initials. I don't know how you guys jumped into the like collection of souls conversation, but I don't think I'm there yet. So I'm probably just gonna try and find something to do with the hive. I'm probably gonna research the hive.
Okay. You said you're.
Any type.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So any type of creature that is capable of doing like hive work or that has connections with them of that type of work, and then probably see if I come up with the initials.
Gotcha. Oh, is there not a history in this one? I was gonna say history check would.
I was just about to say I don't think there is a history. But you can make it so, DM. I mean GM.
Yeah, well, it's just we could add it. I'm trying to think what would.
Suffice.
Oh, actually, give me your profession. You're a historian. Give me a profession roll. Because you're using like your old text and everything to kind of like research back up on the hive and the swarm.
Oh, that works.
Or historian. So I think.
So you have a +5. So you, if you're
Yeah.
rolling in the website, I think you could just click on it to
Okay.
roll. If not, you would roll a d20 and then add 5 to whatever the result was.
Okay, so I'm rolling d20. I got a 13 plus 5,
Plus
18.
Not bad.
Perfect.
Pretty
Did it already do the +5 when you rolled?
No.
Oh, that's awkward.
Oh, it should have.
Or it should have, right?
Yeah.
Like whenever you look at the little
Oh,
box.
I might have done it wrong. Let's see. 'Cause I just went to the top.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you went to the top, then yeah, that makes sense. If you where it says +5 next to the skill, if you just click that,
Uh-huh.
it should roll it with the +5 on there. But we'll go with your 18.
Because it's still the same.
Okay, okay.
It just makes it easier on you so that you don't have to then do mental math after the fact.
Okay.
As you're flipping through your texts, you've heard about the swarm. I mean, it's very common knowledge in the Pact worlds that the swarm was these. In fact, one of the common races in the Pact world, the Sheeran, which are your insectoid sort of like bug people, who are very pacifist because they're like this. They're this sect that broke off of the hive. Basically, they had what the hive would have considered a genetic defect, which caused them to be more pacifist than like the hive in general, and they broke away from them because they didn't want to attack others. So these individuals tend to be mystics and healers and diplomats because they want to bring peace to the Pact worlds. So you're familiar with at least them as individuals, and you know that there's a subtle level of telepathy among all of them where they can connect, and they actually do better in groups because of this sort of connection. Based off of this interaction with Sheeran's in your text, you kind of like piece together that the hive in itself is made up of a mass of different types of insectoid creatures that have had their individual mental faculties subverted by an overall desire to spread and feast.
Oh shit!
As
So
you
feral.
Yeah, as you dig deeper and deeper into the past, all the way back to the beginning of the swarm, what was terrifying about them is they're like one of those species that don't know when to stop. When they arrive on a planet, they consume everything that they can until the planet is left as a husk, and then they move on.
Like humans. I'm just kidding.
I mean, not super inaccurate, but yes. So that was what was terrifying is all of these, what you would kind of call soldiers, aren't even the main threats. You have to take out the main hub to get rid of the individual soldiers because they're kind of used as soulless husks for whatever mission they're sent out on. Which is why both the Beskarium and the Pact Worlds had to come together to confront this threat, because no individual amount of military power was going to overcome this because the sheer numbers of the swarm was overwhelming.
But I think we still have to gather enough evidence to prove that
that's the case.
That it's the case. So that's probably what I'm starting to gather is that I'm like, okay, so I'm seeing a lot of familiarity, but we need to get to the actual hub. So we need more evidence, and we don't have like 2 weeks to wait for some of this evidence. So I'm probably, once I'm learning all of this, I'm putting the pieces together, I'm probably going to go back to John Smith and see like, hey, let's get an action plan. Like, we have to find more evidence. We can't just sit around because I'm getting worried.
Well, shoot, I don't know what to say. Let me think of that. Are you 100% sure that they are planning an attack?
I have a gut instinct that there is a very high chance that this is what's going on because it fits too perfectly and it's too coincidental. While I love to leave things up to chance, it's too much of a coincidence for it to be a random thing.
GM, I have a question.
Creating an invoice is really quick, especially if
Fire.
you
In
start with a
in
layout. We keep the same
in a
template
certain
for all our
sense,
invoices.
like how fast does it take an entity to start war on another entity? Like if we're talking nowadays, like right now, if like war can get started in like 24 hours. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like is it any faster than that? Like how much of a timeline could you know what I'm saying? Like
I guess to kind of give you guys a perspective of how quick information travels in the pack worlds and just how quick space travel is in general. Um,
mhm.
Inside the pack worlds, based off of like the beacons that they have set up and everything, communication between planets, as long as you have connection to the main like pack world infrastructure of like the infosphere,
Uh-huh.
it's almost instantaneous. So like something that happens
So
on the edge of the solar system could be relayed to Absalon Station almost immediately, unless like communications were taken out or something like that. But as far as like actual space travel, though, between planets, it's typically 1d4 days, depending on how well you route like your travel and everything, and that's sublight travel between planets. So each planet, it's about 1d4 to the next planet.
sure.
Um,
So I'll just turn over to Raya, and you see as I'm pondering, it's a simple animation of like Pac-Man going like eating little orbs between my different eye sockets, and once it gets to the last orb on my last eye, it just resets. Uh, I just look over to maybe it's best if we talk to whatever her name was, Drizella. I don't know the Premac. I
No,
don't.
because we've already spoken to her and she didn't have much to say.
You're right. Maybe we should take this into our own hands. What do you think?
I agree. We need to get to the bottom of this before it turns into a war, and we need to prep leadership as quickly as possible.
Do you think leadership will have a similar response that the Premac did?
I don't think that they're worried as they should be, so I'm starting to wonder if there's something else going on.
Well, maybe. May, maybe we should find one of them and interrogate them.
No, because then it'll tip them off.
Oh, right, because they have a hive mind. Blast. Damn
And I
insects.
don't know that last time I did it, it didn't work because it's all blank in there. They're being controlled. So that's why it doesn't matter if we go through the minions. We have to make sure we get to the hive.
Where is the most likely place for the hive?
That's a good question.
Maybe we should figure that out before we do the next step.
uh,
Okay, what's the next planet that we could go to?
Yeah, DM, what kind of research do we need to find out about the
so
hive?
I was actually going to say, Raya, whenever you did your research, you would have found that no one knows where the swarm originated from. It did not originate in either the Veskarium or the Pack Worlds. It's out in the vast somewhere. So it's like in between either either another solar system or
Like just
completely
an entirely different
like
galaxy?
yeah. So it's not like you guys know where the hive is. No one in the Pack Worlds or the Veskarium knows. So far, all of it's just been pushed back, and they haven't re-engaged either solar system. So there's not really a frame of reference to go at the moment.
It's a
The
needle
black
in the
box is
haystack.
really the only thing
The
that is
only
going to
thing
give you
that we
additional
have.
information on it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, so only the black box, but we're only 4 days in. We still have 10 days.
But you
We've
did get
already pretty much
tasked
done
with
most
the Steel
research.
Talon follow-up. So you have something to
that's
fill the
right.
time.
That's true. That's true. I forgot about that.
Believe me, when I started writing for the Swarm, I had a lot more, like, because it's all breadcrumb stuff.
Oh shoot! So am I poking at the wrong wall here, DM?
I mean, so like I said, either direction is kind of valid. I have stuff planned to finish up Steel Talon as you guys are waiting on the black box, but after that, it's kind of like you guys pick your poison at that point. Because I have breadcrumbs for
speak
2
out of
different
character real quick?
storylines, and you guys will get to pick which storyline you follow.
I'm gonna talk out of character for a second. I'm digging this whole swarm shit. Fuck
Oh, yeah.
Steel Talon.
Uh,
What about you, Sarah?
I'm good. I'm liking it.
DM, we're gonna wait for that black box.
Wait, hold on.
Oh no,
I don't-
not that.
I mean,
But what else are we gonna do? If it's a needle in the haystack, what the fuck are we gonna do?
well,
Sorry,
like,
I take back into
What?
character.
so
Okay,
you have.
back
I was
into
gonna say at the at the moment you guys have a quest request from Premex to go research BRT down in the lower levels of Steel Talon's lair. That's kind of like what you've been given as like a, hey, I need to go research this black box to figure out what's going on with this threat. Please figure out what's going on with this other threat, and then we get
Wait.
all of our cards on the table at that point.
Yes, I
So,
understand.
I've told you everything that I know, but your character hasn't told me anything of what you know.
About like the swarm in general.
Yeah, like what you learned about your
Or the
research
Steel
papers
Talon,
and all
because
that?
you started doing
Oh.
stuff that goes in Steel Talon direction.
I mean, you can ask me about that. I specifically haven't brought it up yet, but challenge me. I want you to. Let's hear it.
Okay. So before we make any decisions, though, we need to decide. We can't ask them directly because they're not going to provide any information.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're too nervous to know, that looks really good. I don't know. Where else can we go? Can you think of anything, Robot, of where we can go next or what we can do?
You just watch my like eyes blink, but it's just a light display, you know. And they stop blinking and they come to a little squint. I am not a robot. I know it's confusing. So my name is John, or John Smith.
Yes, sir. Of course. Anyways, where do you want to go?
Okay, well, let's see here.
Also, I love your jetpack, by the way. That red looks really good on you.
Thank you. I just go trun, trun, and I like kind of go up off the ground a little bit and come back down.
Just for showcase.
Yeah. I got it in fire truck red, and I turn around in a very awkward sort of robotic manner and just kind of like slap my cold red ass.
Well,
Oh.
while you were talking to the store clerk, did you hear any rumors? Did you hear anything from that could possibly help us?
You notice a sort of, it's hard to sort of read the emotional state of John because he's an actual robot, you know? So like the typical facial cues aren't necessarily given. But now that you've spent a little bit more time with him, you can tell that like there's a hesitancy to answer your question. He seems a little nervous and unsure, and he just kind of looks up to you or down to you. I think that might be taller, and he says, "To be honest, it is a little personal and very confusing, and I'm not sure if you're ready to hear that. I have told others that have been curious enough to maybe look inside my head, and it has led to not such great circumstances. So, I guess I just need to know, are we good, homie?"
I'm not sure what homie means, but if we're gonna work together, I need to make sure you trust me with the information.
I need to know that I can trust you, and also, homie was an old Galarian term for friend.
Okay, so we're friends now. So friends share information, especially when an impending war might be starting again.
Well, unfortunately, the information that I have to share does not pertain to the war effort. It's more tied to me personally as a person.
Now I'm suspicious. What do you know then?
I just like kind of look nervously across the way. Can we find like a quiet cafe to go sit down?
Oh yeah, especially in like the shopping district there. There's a multitude of different cafes. You kind of get to pick your preference there. There's a
Are there any like hole in the wall type cafes?
yes, and they're kind of like, since Absalom Station's like the hub world of the Pack worlds. There's like, think about like your stereotypical like each individual ethnic food in like different sections. So like you've got like the Castroville Lashunta like cafe that's got like all the Lashunta common eateries, and then like
What
you've
would
got
be the what would be like the equivalent of Greek food?
ooh.
Because like John could really go for some like lemon rice flavored oil.
I would almost say that one would kind of like fall in like this. There's like this. The lights are like a little bit faded because it's not as common, but like, it's like, oh, old Galarian, and like it's this eatery that's got like all these like typical old Galarian like dishes, that are like obscure because like no one that's currently alive has ever, aside from like the high elves and those type of people.
That's currently alive.
It'd be like your high elves, because like the gap was like a pretty long period of time. I want to say it was a 300-year gap of lost history, and between that time frame, Galeria disappeared. So like long living races like elves and like dwarves remember old Galeria. Everybody else is like, I don't know what you're talking about. So like you see a lot of elves and like dwarves in this eatery, but it's not very common to see any of the younger races in here because they have no knowledge of this type of food or really desire because they didn't grow up with it.
So like I'm imagining the tables here have been like, I mean they've probably been wiped off, but like not with any special cleaner. So there's like a stick to the table.
Yeah. It's almost like they
and
took
maybe
the like grease from the previous food on the same rag to wipe it down.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And there's like it's like relatively empty, maybe.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like it's anywhere else you would think it's mood lighting, but here it's like the light fixtures need to be updated, so it's like a little bit dim, and
Gotcha.
like
Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect.
and there's only like maybe
So-
one or two other people in there.
Yeah, I'll order like a large oil to consume. Do you want anything, Raya? It is on me. I am loaded, as they say.
I'm looking at this place disgusted, but also very curious because I've never been in a restaurant like this. So I'm very like, I don't want to touch anything, but I'm also still very much taking everything in.
Like, you begrudgingly sit down in the booth with me?
Yeah, but literally, like, my hands are in my lap or to my chest
Right,
because I
right.
don't want to
Wanna
touch
the
anything.
table?
Yeah. Okay, well,
You should
what,
try the chicken. I heard it's pretty authentic.
sure, I'll have that, please. Okay.
Anyways, so like as the waiter goes off or whatever, I'll sort of lean in. Okay, Raya, you are going to be one of the very few humanoids in this galaxy that know, but I am not a robot. I used to be like you, and to sort of explain, over the last couple of days, I have done research trying to potentially look into artificial intelligence. Allegedly, several years ago, Absalon Station's Technomancery School of whatever the fuck um, had done some research in animating robotic life, but unfortunately, it did not go anywhere because apparently it would only be short amounts of time. But they were trying to see if, you know, if they can make it permanent and potentially give the robot sentience. Later on, apparently, someone with the last name Tohak tried to expand upon the research of these people. And
Wait, did you say Toha?
yes, I thought it was a strange last name as well.
But if we're looking for a guy named Toha and the initials BRT, I wonder if that's who we're supposed to be investigating. What if the research was never stopped? What if they continued?
Wait, are you implying that you know who Tohak is?
No, but I think I've seen the name somewhere, but I just never made the connection.
Are you saying Tohak could potentially be bacon lettuce tomato?
I'm saying the possibility is extremely high, although I don't think his first name is Bacon. Although that is a very strange name, since I don't know what Bacon is.
Well, allegedly, Tohak was asked to leave or was excommunicated. I'm not sure. But as far as the research goes, it wasn't taken any further. And Raya, the reason why I am interested in this is because I too wonder if I am a result of this research. Because, like I said, I used to be alive, very much breathing with lungs and not whatever this is. I kind of opened up my rib cage, and you can see all my internal workings, and it's just a bunch of gears and gods and wires and shit. And I want to know if maybe I can make it back.
I'm feeling so sorry for you, but also because I'm such a book nerd, I struggle to connect with people. Um, but I turn to you. Are you sure you want to go down that path? What if you don't want to return to that life?
I miss my brother deeply.
How do you know you had a brother?
I can remember almost everything of my past life in excruciating detail. Like the one time my father told me he was leaving for a pack of cigarettes and he never came home. Imagine being able to look at your life in a series of Wikipedia articles. It is not the existence I want, so I suffer every day.
Okay, so in my head, I'm gonna take advantage of this because I need him
Yeah,
to trust me.
for sure.
I need him to trust me so that I can utilize him. So I'm going to turn to you and say, "Okay, how can I help you? What I think that if we could figure out who this BRT guy, this tow hat guy, maybe he can help you. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we stop whatever is controlling them and figure out why they're trying to control them."
Well, I think I looked at you. Um, do you have? Never mind. I looked at you, and my eyes just kind of widened down to a squint, but not in disbelief. I think you may be able to help me, and I reach out over the table and extend a robot fist.
I'm going to slowly and awkwardly fist bump you because I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're wanting me to do because I
Yeah.
don't have many friends.
Right as you contact my fist, I just go jellyfish and just do
No,
this.
you're not.
I think this
I'm
is a
gonna
great
awkwardly
idea.
pull my hand back into my lap so I don't touch anything else.
Um, right as she does that, I start looking around. Where is my goddamn oil?
Almost on. As you're complaining, John, you frequented this restaurant, so you
Yeah, that's
know
my favorite spot.
you're familiar that the wait time is abysmal. It's part of the reason why hardly anybody is in here. Is
Right.
so like even for something as common as pouring a glass of oil, like it could take 10 minutes. Uh, so you're justified in asking for it. So it takes about 10-15 minutes for the glass of oil to finally come out, and they just assume Raya needs a glass of water, so they bring that out, and then it's another like 35 minutes
Oh my
before the
god!
chicken makes its way out. That Raya wasn't even sure she wanted.
Excuse me. Sorry. Christ.
Yeah, I'm in no rush to receive this chicken that was probably cooked in like crude oil.
Yeah, you're probably
Despite
gonna take like one bite of it anyways.
No,
despite your
I'm probably gonna sniff it and put it back down. 'Cause it's
Oh,
probably
not
gonna
even
come
eat
out.
it?
It's probably gonna come out and it's like laces of black in the actual skin.
Right.
despite your misgivings, the chicken comes out and it's like the smell is like you've never it's one of the most enticing dishes you've ever smelled in your entire life. The while
Stop.
the plate it's on isn't like it's not like the Gordon Ramsay like it looks beautiful, but it kind of reminds you of like that home style dish that like your mom would make, and it's like while it doesn't look pretty, this is gonna taste good based off of how good it smells.
Yes.
Okay. So I
This is
get my dish and I'm like, wow, okay. Like, maybe I should start trusting his opinion. And I take a bite of it and I literally just look up at you and like, no fucking way. This is actually really good.
yes, it's one of the pleasures in life that I truly miss the most. Unfortunately, I have to drink this, and hey, it's not bad. And I just kind of like, I just pour it like the rest in my mouth, like it's just like this goopy syrup, you know?
But now I'm debating on drinking it as well because listen, if this chicken is bomb, like what else am I missing out on?
Yeah, give her some of that motor oil.
Eh.
uh,
um, I will say one more thing. As she kind of like gets a little bit into her meal, I will say, Raya, I have shared something that it is incredibly personal to me, and though I trust you, it would help me more if maybe you shared something about yourself.
Oh, hold on. Let me pull up something real quick that I read earlier today.
Also, Raya, when you get a chance, give me an intelligence roll. Uh, this is going to be in relation to if you can recall uh, anything with the School of Technomancery, because you would have attended, if at least briefly, being a technomancer yourself.
I don't have intelligence.
It should be one of your ability scores. So it'd be like in the center of your
Oh,
character sheet.
ability.
And it would be abbreviated INT.
I have +3, 16. A +3.
Yeah, so click the +3 to roll.
I got a 21.
Perfect.
Nice. Solid, dude.
So whenever John had brought up the School of Technomancery there on Absalon Station and Tohac, while you didn't bring it up immediately in the conversation, you would have recalled that during your brief time there, Tohac was one of the names that's kind of written on plaques around like the school.
Shit.
Based off of this, you would have kind of got the impression that Tohac was like this prodigy technomancer. So you don't have anything
But
deeper
what
than
if I
that?
don't remember yet?
Well,
because the name just sounds really familiar.
That was what the role was for.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You can use that information as you will. You don't have to relay any of that to John. But
Yeah.
you know that Tohac was some prodigy. You don't know anything else about that? What, like, where he went after school or like specifics of his time at school, because that was before you went to the School of Technomancery. But
So, as a meta question, was he just like an upperclassman, or are we talking like professor type status?
well, if you recall from your research, the details you got was 25 years ago.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So
he's
she's
not-
fairly
he's not
recent
around.
out of the Technomancery school.
Okay. So he's like remembered at the school, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So I read this thing earlier today. Or a Lashunta tribe was collected by the crew of the strike starship Divinity after it entered Galarian's solar system and stopped by Castrovel to collect rainforest dwelling life to resupply one of its habitat pods. The Lashuntas were then placed in stasis and remained there when the starship crashed into modern Numeria. Millennia later, a technically captain, it's a half elf, discovered and revived them during an expedition into the Silver Mount, establishing a village within the isolated habitat dome with himself.
Okay.
So I look to you and I'm like remembering growing up in Silvermount and my family remembering where was it earlier? Being in the Galarian solar system.
No shit. Okay.
And I'm like, that's why I cherish history and culture so much, because
So
I
you're
didn't
from-
grow up with my actual thing. My parents did, and they instilled it from me. So that's why it's so important for me to be able to like take care of culture and the history and all of that.
So John looks over to you after you get done kind of explaining all that. So basically, you come from a generation that was from the world from a long time ago, and were in stasis until recently.
Yes.
Fascinating. And you can see like my eyes project a sort of like bit of light that sort of like scans you up and down. Wow. Thank you for sharing. I'm sure that was personal.
I look at you awkwardly because I'm not used to sharing emotions. And I say, yeah, no problem.
Well, I am done here, so as soon as you finish up, we should. I guess we still need to figure out what we should do. Maybe we should.
Go back to the school, maybe? Because we still need to research who this toe hat guy is.
Sure, yeah, and potentially see if he is the BRT.
Right? Or was there, sorry, GM, is there another place that we need to go to?
I mean, we still technically can go follow up with Steel Talon.
So there isn't. There is a thing I built that we do not have to do.
Oh, are we doing it?
But you've already built it. You spent all that time.
Well, here's the thing: is like.
Oh no.
All of this is good.
Yes.
Because this is logical thought process. So like, I'm not going to railroad you into something just because I built it. So yes, if you would like to go to the School of Technomancery, that is a thing. You guys have 4 days before you'd be fully recovered. So as long as I would say we're only on really day 2. You guys went shopping day 1, did research that afternoon, rested, met back up, kind of shared what you found, went out to lunch. So I'd say
on day 2?
Yeah, I'd say you have like 2.5 days left before Raia would be considered back up to full health.
Okay.
So like you have time to do some additional research before she would be really combat ready anyways.
How about this, Raia? Maybe we take the time to ourselves to recuperate from the day we had, and tomorrow morning we shall go to the school.
Okay, let's do that. But deep down, I'm like, no, I'm going to go back to the library, and I'm probably going to do more research to see if I could trigger anything from this name.
I love that. Okay. GM, for the rest of my downtime, I'm just going to go find like a public like charging station, if you will, and just kind of plug myself in there and just kind of like, and after I've relaxed for a little bit, I'll maybe find a couple, like, we don't need to go through it. I'll try to win some money in some street games, maybe lose a couple credits, and I'll you know how like in Futurama Bender has an apartment but he like sleeps in the closet?
Well, that is the apartment because he's a robot, so he doesn't need anything else. Yeah.
But then later you find out he has a closet and it's the rest of the apartment.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So like I'm gonna go find like a specific like tavern or hotel, if you will, made for robots, and it's just like a small storage system, you know, that like the size of my body to allow me to sort of just like go into stasis.
Perfect. And I would say you're actually very familiar with this location because you spent about a week already trying to task people to help you with the Steel Talon problem, and you just were unsuccessful. So like you've been making your routes around the shopping district of Absalon Station for like a week now.
So just one question: what's the name of this robotic inn? See what you got.
I mean, the first one that came to mind was
Surge Hotel.
Bolt Storage.
Bolt Storage, I love it. That's the name. That's where I'm sleeping. Bolt Storage.
Oh my
you
gosh.
got it, dude. You got it. All right, that's it for me.
Okay, Raia, for you said you were gonna go read some more research on the School of Technomancery now, specifically searching for maybe alumni.
Yeah, because now that name is starting to like repeat in my head, and I'm like, why do I know this? Why do I know this? Why is it so familiar?
Okay.
So I'm gonna search the alumni. I'm gonna see if I can find any articles that are specifically attached to them, and then I'm probably gonna find the papers that John found. So I'll probably read up on those to kind of understand a little bit more, I assume, right?
Okay. Yeah, give me an
Would those be
intelligence roll.
readily available? Okay, let's see.
Big money, no whammies.
21.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
Jesus.
Beautiful.
So as you're kind of hopping up onto the infosphere, because you kind of went through your personal books, and while you have some stuff from the School of Technomancy, it's basically just your old textbooks. There's nothing specific on any previous alumni, so you kind of go to the infosphere after that to kind of do some research. Since you have a name, you're actually able to kind of track down some information faster than what John was, because he was using a little bit more vague search. So you're able to find that, like you kind of remember, Tohac is this prodigy that had kind of come through the Technomancy School about 25 years ago. He had normally it takes about 10 to 15 years. Think of like doctorate sort of level training to be considered like a master technomancer. This guy made it through the School of Technomancy within like 4 years. So he reduced this down.
Okay.
Like he was basically doing like his what's it called for your master's degree, the dissertation. He was basically doing his dissertation on the concept of grafting souls,
Which that would make sense.
to robots to create artificial life. As you kind of read through this, it's all theory based, and it was based off of the research that John had found originally. But as you're kind of like reading through it, you kind of get this impression that the school was kind of getting uncomfortable with Tohac, and you actually get a first name out of this as well, Rejuvenor. So that's REJUVENOR. So Rejuvenor Tohac. His research, while it was theory-based, you could tell that the way the papers are written, that he may have started to delve a little deeper than just theory. And the school, you kind of see, there's no like official statements anywhere, but there's kind of like, you know how it's like the behind closed, or not behind closed door, like the behind someone's back sort of like snippets you can kind of find like Reddit or Twitter where people are like, oh, such and such about this public figure or whatever. You kind of get some snippets of that where it sounds like if he hadn't stopped pushing with his theories, he probably would have been kicked out of the School of Technomancy. But he did manage to graduate with honors. Basically, after his dissertation, there is no other mention of anything with soul grafting after that.
So he never got kicked out. He just like
basically all of the research that he had been doing for his dissertation stopped after that dissertation was posted, and then he graduated with honors, and then people were expecting like big, huge things from him, and he kind of just went dark.
He just disappeared.
Yep.
No.
Huh.
No way.
Okay, so that's gonna worry me because then I'm gonna need to know what happened. Okay.
Do your researcher thing, girl.
I don't even know. Cause I'm going back to, because it would be like what, like day 3.5. We could even push it to 4 because that's a lot of extensive research.
You're muted.
Yeah, for you to get all of this data, I would say it's probably the second half of day 2 and most of day 3 to kind of like compile all of this together, because you're having to go to like all these different academic journal entries and just all kinds of different sources and piece it together.
We'll have to, like, when we end up going to school, it will be at the end of day 2. I mean, day 3, rather. Day 3?
Either end of day 3 or morning of day 4,
Okay.
depending on whenever she comes and fills you in with all
Right.
this data.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so hearing this, I'd probably be really excited to tell John because I technically found a lot more. But I don't know where he lives because him and I are not that close.
We could have established like a
Yeah.
meetup.
Yeah,
We
and
can just
also,
meet back at that Galarian diner.
yeah, and also kind of like meta-wise, every sort of armor equipment, whether it be second skin, which is like barely noticeable, has a built-in comm unit. So you guys
Oh,
could kind of
fuck
like
yeah.
trade personal
Okay.
connection with the comm unit. So you could that works planet-wide. So as long as you guys are on the same planet, you can communicate with those.
Cool.
Okay. So I probably call you, and depending on if he answer or not, I'm gonna say, hey, like, I found some more information.
Sorry, you have reached the voicemail of John Smith. Just kidding, it's me. Ha 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 ha.
I can't with you. I can't. So yeah, so I tell you like, hey, I think I found some more information. I do think that we should probably go to the school, or should we follow what that lady, High Lady, I'm gonna start calling her High Lady, wanted us to go.
Don't worry, I can never remember her name either. I think it's Drippy. I don't know. Maybe. What time of day is she getting a hold of me?
I will leave that one up to you, Raya. So either you could contact him as soon as you're done researching, so the evening of the 3rd day, or you wait until the morning of the 4th.
I'm probably going to be too excited. So I'm probably going to contact you the day of the 3rd, and then we can leave like the morning of the 4th.
Okay. This is definitely a little bit of a letdown because it sounds like Tohak's first name starts with an R, so unfortunately I don't think he's our bacon lettuce tomato. However, we do have a name now. This is great. Maybe we should meet up at the school tomorrow morning.
Okay, let's do that.
Fantastic. Over and out.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I'll just go with the bed at the bolt storage.
At the bolt storage.
And I'll meet up with Raia at the School of Technomancy.
Perfect. All right. So it's a slightly different level. So we'll say it's kind of like the political district that you have, like the high society is like level 2, and we'll go level 1 is the highest and then kind of go down. Level 3 would be like the shopping residential area. Level 4 would be the stewards. Level 5 would be the School of Technomancy, and then below that you've got different things after that. So you're going down to level 4 to see the School of Technomancy, and as you kind of like step off the elevator, this whole area, it's like this big like university campus, and unlike your typical like college campuses, you see all these different like it's kind of like at this, I would say, mystical, but obviously technology is involved. So like you've got like these metal cubes that are like floating like around,
Cool.
and like you could see like the wisp of like the magical energy that's manipulating it. Cool. All of the doors kind of like, it's not like a sensor that's causing it, like it almost like ethereal, like the door will open as people come close. Cool. So like you could feel the magic flowing everywhere around here. As you enter into like the main part of the school, I assume you guys are kind of like wanting to meet with like maybe like the what is it? The
Historian, maybe.
a historian would be good, yeah, or like the
yeah,
headmaster.
yeah, or something like that. Maybe the headmaster might sound a little too much of a tall grab. Like, is there?
Well, it was also 25 years ago, though, so I don't
What's-
think that the same headmaster would be there.
What's the equivalent of human resources?
I mean,
Or
I would assume that there would still be
is
like
there
a
a-
human resources. Like maybe they call it something different, but I don't have a name for it at the moment. So,
Sure.
yeah. So like
I
if you
would
go,
go with the historian or the
Okay.
librarian to see
Uh-huh.
what they can pull.
I'll
perfect.
sort of follow your lead because since you had mentioned earlier you had attended school and I've never been on a campus, so I'm just kind of like following you.
Yeah, Raya, this is right up. This is right down your kind of like alley because you have been at this campus before, so you know where the library is. Um, like you don't even have to use the directory to kind of like get around. As you make your way into the library, uh, and since you are a historian by trade, you've spent many a day in this particular library studying. Uh, and since it's only been a year or two since you left, uh, the librarian that was there when you were there before is still there. Good old.
Cool.
He's got some.
Good old. Let's hear it.
Yeah. So he's got
It's
some.
gonna be a really old. Oh well, no, never mind. Go ahead.
He's got some horn-rimmed sort of glasses. He's a
Yes.
cathasis, so he's actually got 4 arms, which helps him
Cool.
kind of grab multiple
Read
books
more
at once. And as he pushes them up, you greet him. Oh, Harold.
No,
Uh,
my name is John.
So this this is Harold Willingsworth.
Harold Willingsworth.
Okay, so I'm
Wow.
probably really familiar and like on a personal level with him because I was probably in the library so much and I probably needed to interact with him. So I find him like around the corner and I'm like, Harold! And I probably greet him really warmly.
And he
But
still
reciprocates. He
awkwardly.
kind of like, hey, kind of adjusts his glasses and squints. Oh, Raya, I haven't seen you in ages. And he
Oh,
like
fuck
he reaches
yeah.
out with all 4 arms to give you a hug.
Wow.
Yes, Harold, I know it's been really long, but unfortunately, we're on a very time sensitive task. I'm wondering if you could use your magic to help me do a little bit of off the books research.
Oh, Lassie, that's a little bit of a tall order there.
I
What is
know,
it? What
but
is
you're
it
the
we're
only one that I know.
what is it we're researching this time that we need to be so secretive about?
I'm looking for some papers or any research that Tohack, a guy with the last name Tohack, may have been working on or produced.
And
Does he react to the name Tohack?
yeah, that's what I was getting to. You kind of see like
Oh, okay.
the color in his face kind of disappears a little bit. Oh, Tohak. Oh, that lad spent about as much time in this library as you did. He was only here for about 4 years before he graduated, but he just consumed knowledge like no other. There was
Yeah,
a little.
I don't remember him.
Oh, he was before
Well,
your
I
time,
wouldn't have
Lassie.
because it was 25 years ago.
Yeah, he was. It was before your time, Lassie.
You're right.
You would have to be about my age to. Well, I say my age. You would have to be. Being my age would be a little too much. I'm approaching about 300 these days, but he was nice enough, but there was always this sort of dark aura. There was whispers, of him dabbling into something about taking souls or some nonsense of that nature, but I never bought in it too much. You know, we're mostly theory based here. You know, once you get to that part of your education, you know, there's not a whole lot left aside from theory. You know, like all your physicists and those types of folks, you know, there's only so much that you can learn before then you start have to thinking about what else there could be beyond. And you know, once he mastered the basics of technomancery, it was, well, you know, you start trying to dabble into godhood and can I create life through magic and
Huh.
technology? And that's what the boy got into. It consumed him towards the, you know, the last year or so he was here. No one else wanted to go down those roads though. Wow, what do you got there for me there? I didn't catch your name.
Yes, my name is John Smith. Pleasure to meet you. And I like robotically extend my hand out like with like a bunch of force, you know.
Nice to meet you, Ooh, solid grip there.
Thank you. My mother would have said the same. Anyways.
Are you from Avalon?
Well, in a way, I guess you could say yes.
Okay.
But what I was wondering was, is it possible that you knew where he went after graduating from the school?
Well, I mean, with where he was going with his research, he was trying to, I would almost say he was trying to recreate the, funny enough that you said you were from Avalon, he was trying to kind of follow up the research from that world. It was during the gap, so no one knows the specifics, but this super intelligent race created the original androids. Now, the difference between his research and what happened on Avalon is the androids, their souls aren't created from ripping it out of something else and putting it into a chassis. Their souls are their own. What Tohac was trying to do was essentially like take a soul from something else and put it into a robotic body, basically making it immortal.
I turned my head to John. Yeah, we've heard similar rumors of that, because I remember on conversation. Do you know if he's worked with any other departments, or is there someone close to him here?
No, the lad kept to himself for the most part. I mean, it's hard to have peers whenever you're so gifted. I mean, within his first year, he jumped up. I mean, you're familiar. Technomancy is usually, 10 to 15 years to complete. 10 if you're really, really sharp. And this boy did it in 4. So any of the peers he would have had when he had started, he surpassed almost immediately. If anything, everybody seemed to kind of like avoid him because they either hated him for his success or were scared of him because of it.
Do you know if potentially any... What are those letters called that professors can write for you when you're applying for colleges and shit or whatever? Something, it's like that.
Like letter of recommendation.
Was any letter of recommendation written for this Tohac?
As far as like a job after school?
Potentially.
Not that I recall. No one knew where he was wanting to go. It wasn't necessarily like he even had a job. His whole he shifted towards the end just because there was some fear of him getting expelled if he kept pushing the issue, but he was dead set up until that point on proving his theory could work. And since there was no other support for it, I mean, really the only thing I could think is he went and tried to do it on his own. Now, where he went, I don't know. I mean, obviously, the source of knowledge would be Avalon, but I don't think he had the resources to necessarily go straight there. I assume he needed something, a bigger foundation that his theory was right before he was willing to make the trip to Avalon.
Okay. John, do you have any other questions?
No, but I think we need to speak privately for just a moment. Sorry, Harold. You have been a great help.
Just let me know if you need anything else. I'm always here.
I give a really warm smile to Harold and quickly give him a hug
Oh,
as
love
I
it.
pull
Yeah.
John. He's like my father. So I
Yeah.
pull John aside into the corner of the library and I say, "It sounds eerily familiar. If John, or not John, if Tohack disappeared afterwards, what if he didn't stop researching? And then if there's connections to Avalon, I'm wondering if Avalon senior leadership may be in cahoots with him."
That was what I wanted to talk about. And I sort of look around just to make sure we're private. And I'll sort of like lower my volume levels. And sort of lean in. I am at a loss. I really think this Rejuvenor Tohack could very much help my situation, but finding him may be proving to be a little difficult. So, I was thinking that maybe Avalon 5 might be a good choice to potentially look for more information. It may even lead us to Tohack's location. Tohack, rather. I
Okay.
don't know, though. I feel like we are on a little bit of a goose chase and starting to feel the robotic equivalent of guilt.
Okay. I agree. Maybe we need to dial it back and get more evidence. I say, but also maybe there's a reason why the High Lady wanted us to specifically go talk to this person about Tohack. Because if they're in cahoots and they know about it, maybe she's trying to warn us. So I say we follow the original task.
Okay.
Go down below.
So just to clear, meta-wise, Steel Talon is, as far as you can tell, a robotic dragon that acts exactly like a dragon would. And when you searched his hoard, that's when you found the medallion that said BRT. So there's not necessarily someone to talk to, but based off of finding the medallion, there seems to be some.
That could have just been collected. It doesn't necessarily have to be tied
Or
to Steel Talon.
There is a connection between Steel Talon and BRT.
Right.
I mean,
Which
if
is
they
what
found
she's
the
afraid
medallion
of.
there.
Yeah, right. So that's what she's afraid of. So she knows who BRT is and wants to confirm that it's not that individual pulling the strings with stuff down in the downside.
So she's also probably afraid that senior leaders are probably being taken over.
Well, she's not having a great time because
Possibly.
she's now got this and the swarm shit that happened at the symposium. So
Yeah, dude, this just gets more and more complicated. I also, okay. I appreciate that you have been willing to entertain the potential mystery around my existence. I am excited to potentially go to Avalon 5. However, I want to put the metaphorical ball in your metaphorical court. What would you like to do, Raia?
God, that is so much pressure. I say we follow with the steel thing. I think we followed
Steel
the
Talon.
original tasker
Okay.
because she had the BRT thing. There's a reason why she's guiding us over there. Everything leads right back to the original tasker.
Okay, then you should take the next couple days to rest, and we will go into the depths after when you are ready to go. I got a little tongue-tied there. God damn it. Whenever you're fully rested, we can leave.
Okay.
All right. So day 5, you would be fully
5.
recovered, Raya. If you guys would like to do anything else before heading back down into the ghost levels, let me know, and we could do those. Knock that out real quick.
I want to do a quick thing. Is there... I don't necessarily want to deal directly with a crime underbelly, but is there a type of individual I could potentially come upon that doesn't use typical avenues to search for people?
Oh, you know what's funny? One of the not archetypes, but the themes literally deals with like having that as an advantage, where like you know who to talk to like use like spy network sort of stuff to like communicate.
Yeah.
So it does exist.
Essentially, I want to try and find some sort of member or associate of said affiliation to potentially put out some feelers for Rejuven or Tohack.
Okay, let me.
And I'm willing to pay 250 credits to make sure it's like priority.
Also, for John Smith, did he remember who he was in the past? I assume so, right? Because he had a brother. He says he has a brother.
Yeah, like...
And his father left.
Yeah, so like, imagine like being a digital entity and like being able to like, some people forget their childhood memories, you know, but like because
So it's like
I'm
a
robot,
conscience.
I can just remember my past life as if it was just a bunch of different files. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
But like, it's not a memory like inside of a living creature's head. It's more of like data, if that makes sense.
Okay. Okay.
Equivalently, it's the same, but you know, flavor.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean, though.
Okay, John, give me an intelligence check to see if you can find someone for this. If you want to do this again in the future and you want to be able to level it up, create a skill called networking, and we'll use intelligence as your modifier on it.
Ooh, that's bad. I rolled an 8.
No.
At the moment,
Not able to find anyone.
you're not able to find anyone. It's more just because you're not originally from Absalon Station, right?
Yeah. No.
You just recently, the Steel Talon initial quest was the first time you've really been on Absalon Station for an extended period of time, and as you've been perusing around, you've been more focused on tasking others to come down with you again. So you hadn't really been building up this network that you kind of generated on your home planet.
Right.
But you do kind of have like this general idea where to look. It just isn't successful, at least in this time frame.
Okay. I like the idea that I actually do find someone who is not at all who I'm looking for, but takes my credits anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, sure, I can do that for you. You said Tolok, something like that, right?
No. Rejuven or Tohack.
Oh yeah. Bovinar Tolok.
I'll just
Olaf,
trust
he
that
said.
you can get this done, and I transfer him the credits. Shit.
I was gonna say I've been
Oh,
editing our
man.
Death Race episode whenever we were playing with the Bonesaw name.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, Ryan, is there anything that you would like to do before the morning of the 5th?
I don't think so. I think I'm just more anxious to see what
Okay,
else we could find.
perfect. So the morning of the 5th, you guys get up, you meet up. John is familiar with the process of getting down to the ghost levels. You head over to the elevator that kind of goes down that way. Uh, as you kind of get lower, lower, the lighting kind of like dims a little bit because this
Gets
is
a little
pretty deep.
bumpier.
Yeah, a little bumpier. Uh, kind of as you envision the space station, it's kind of like a bigger upper, and then there's literally like what they call the spike, which is like the small cylinder like spindle towards the bottom of the station. So now you're into like that section where it like narrows down. There's not as wide. It's basically just all corridors and everything once you get into each individual level here.
It reminds me of like that Matt Damon movie where like upper society lives up in the clouds on like these
Elysium.
elevated yeah, Elysium, yes, yeah, and everybody else lives down on the earth.
Yeah.
Like
It,
peasants.
yeah.
Yeah,
Most of this is uninhabited. It's like all machinery to make Absalon
right.
Station function. Um, what's interesting to you, John, is whenever the doors finally open, instead of like the dim lighting that you had encountered whenever you and Shanti had originally come in, it's actually kind of like well lit. And as you start making your way through the original like lair that you guys had walked through, you see the reactor room. It's under repair. So there's a bunch of people that
Oh, some people have
Premex
been there.
Kumaras sit down to like repair the reactor room.
Cool.
They're kind of detailing stuff as you kind of like make your way into the uh it wasn't a botanical the
It was
uh,
a botanical. It was
yeah
like a green room.
yeah
Okay.
I know there was a specific word I used for it, but the botanical garden here that's you had determined was used to make healing serums. You can see that it's actually like being cleaned up and brought back up to
Cool.
stuff so that it could be used as it was
Okay.
originally intended.
Cool.
Um, the effigy into like the goblins area has like been taken down. Uh, as you move into like where the goblin throne was, the paneling and everything that had been pulled out of the walls has been like put back in. All the wiring's kind of like fixed, and you're seeing like different sort of like lab technicians around working on this as you're kind of going through. As you get to that goblin throne room, Werlo Traxel actually is standing there and kind of like greets you. Are you guys ready to go down?
I do think we are ready to go down, Wuro Draxel. And might I say, you have a very fun name. I love saying it.
As you say. And he'll hand each of you like some communicators. Please use these if you run into any trouble, and we will send down a strike team to assist.
You watch me as I put it up by my robotic ear, and like little tiny robotic arms grab the technology and just kind of like plant it to my like robotic head.
At this point, he'll go, and the good luck.
Excuse me. Did you just wish me good luck? Or did you sneeze?
Yes?
Sorry. And I just like to walk forward.
As you
I'm
continue
just
down,
awkwardly falling behind.
Yeah. What more can you
Like, please don't talk to me. This is a very weird conversation.
as you continue forward, the 10-foot vertical that you had originally had to use the grappling hook to climb, the like elevator sort of lift that was there has been repaired, so you guys are able to easily kind of use the lift to get up, and then you can make the
Cool.
corner around to where the sentry bot stations were. Uh, you can see that some of the technicians are actually analyzing these different robot stations, kind of like trying to inventory like how they work and whether or not they can be used for some other like robot models that exist up in the upper levels of Absalon Station. As you kind of go down the stairs, you can see that there's also some technicians in here where this is where Steel Talon's horde was, and they're kind of like
Oh,
sifting through the remains of the horde after you guys had kind of like picked out the worthwhile stuff, seeing if there was anything else worth mentioning to Premax, and just kind of like archiving what's in there. One of the technicians kind of like looks at you and kind of relays, "We haven't gone any deeper yet, so anything past this point we have no knowledge of, aside that it is the deepest parts of the spike. Please be careful."
that is why we are here. Step out of the way.
And he gladly kind of like, "All right then, F you," and like turns around and like goes back to what he was doing. As you kind of go down this hallway, you see this large shaft room, and it's about 40 foot in diameter as far as like the main shaft. So like there's a
Oh,
railing.
damn, so it's like a big old thing.
Yeah, it goes about 30 levels down, so that's like 300 feet. And around it there's a railing, except for the part where Steel Talon had bust through it to go down. And then there's some stairs off to the side that make their way down.
I'll pull out my boomer rifle. And I'll just like perform a couple of like tactile actions to make sure it's loaded. And I'll look over to Raia before I start going down the stairs, like you mentioned, and just say, "Locked and loaded, baby."
I don't have any guns or anything, so
Yeah.
I'll probably, let me see.
You
I'll
did buy some
probably at least
shuriken.
pull out my sword,
Sure. Oh, you got a sword too?
my dueling sword.
Fuck yeah, dude! You're like a little knowledge samurai.
Yeah, yep. So I'll probably pull that out because now you're making me nervous and I want to at least somehow protect myself.
Wow, that looks like it could slice me in half. Let's not try to find out.
All right, after you.
And I just clunk, clunk, clunk with heavy metal footsteps down the stairs.
The process of heading down these stairs takes about 30 or 40 minutes because
Jesus Christ!
you're going down 30 levels.
Sure, yeah.
Uh,
Christ.
aside from one, it taking a very long time, and literally it's just a big shaft. Like there's nothing else there. It's uneventful. Like I said, it's mostly dim lighting the entire way, and as you kind of get deeper, it's a little bit more dim, like occasional flickers and everything, because you could tell that like no one's been maintaining anything this far deep into the actual spike.
Quick question, sorry. The level that we left, like that what we dealt with, like that dungeon beforehand.
Uh-huh.
What level was that on?
I don't know. We'll say that it's got like 300 levels, and that was probably like level 200. So
Okay,
you're like
cool.
you're getting down to like 230. So you're almost to like the
Okay.
deepest reaches of the spike.
Okay, that's all I was trying to figure out.
How are we feeling time wise?
Let's see here, what time we got.
It's
I'm
10:15.
I'm down to go for another 20 or so minutes if you want. What are you thinking, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Because then we got like the stuff after that and whatnot, you know.
Perfect. I'm going to drop a link in here. I have a Roll20 set up for all the stuff so you can kind of visualize map-wise as we're going. Sarah, you probably haven't used Roll20 before, so if you hit the link, it might have you set up an account. And then this will just be the game, and it kind of, we can go over the particulars of how Roll20 works.
It's pretty straightforward. It's not super complicated. It's basically just a way for us to look at like
Battle
a
maps.
game mat a battle map with our characters and the environment, you know, so it's not like just in our head.
Okay. Did you send it on?
It's in the chat here on the voice room.
Okay, hold on.
So if you
What's
click
the name of the game, Don?
Swarm Resurgence.
I'm not. That's not any of my games. But let me try.
I dropped a
looking
link
at-
in the chat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I sound.
So it's off in
It's
the
giving
top.
me, not authorized.
Okay. Maybe is there another thing I need to do for Roll20 to authorize?
I'm trying to think, cause like, I think you can.
Because I thought
Wait,
there was
what was the name of the game?
Swarm Resurgence.
Oh shit! Hold on. Let me try. I'm gonna try just looking it up manually.
There it is.
I can't find it looking it up. But,
Yeah, I gotta remember how to
shoot. I think
invite.
that there's hold on. Let me look at this.
Oh, there it is. Never mind.
You found it?
Yeah, there's a big pink button that I missed the first time. So this one is the actual invite link.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Ah, there we go. I'm
So we
in.
need to just make an account.
Yeah, if you
Yes.
don't have one, you'll just need to make an account.
Just tie it to your Gmail or whatever.
And then Colton, when you get loaded in, just make sure there should be only the bottom room
Okay,
visible.
I'll let
I have a Fog of War set up. Oh, you're here.
you went
Nice.
above and beyond. Oh, yep. I only see the room.
Perfect.
Oh, Don, look at you go, you beautiful bastard.
Yeah, I didn't get too fancy with the like actual map layout stuff, but
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
SAT prep will help you improve your SSAT
Oh.
scores in just 4 simple
classic ad.
steps.
Wow. Dude, I haven't dealt with ads in years. I think I've been paying for YouTube Red for like at least 7 years now. Yeah, they've got a lot of my money.
Okay. You should have control of John now. You able to move him?
Let's see here. No, for some reason. Hold on. I'm doing a refresh just to make sure. I wonder if we're going to run into the problem that I have, because like sometimes when I like give characters permissions, it doesn't work.
Yeah, let me drop him again. Because I updated like the actual character itself in like the character window, and then I had already had the token on. Can you do it now?
There we go.
He just shifted a second ago, but I can't.
I think that was
can't
me.
move him now.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay. Is it a right click or is it a?
I think it's a right click and then set. There's a cog button,
That's what it is.
and then that should bring up like a thing where you can type in the usernames or whatever. Oh, dude, I love using Roll20. It's nice. It's just nice, Sarah, because like a lot of times, me as a DM, I don't have a lot of time for prep during the week to make battle maps. So I do a lot of theater of the mind, but it's nice using a map because you can like tactily see like where you are in the environment in relation to the actual wall instead of having to imagine it, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
John, you should now have control. And
I do.
Raia, you should be able to move yours. So if it's set to the pointer one, you should be able to drag where
You'll
you
look
want
at
your
the
character
top
to
left
be.
of your screen. That it's the cursor, and when that's selected, you should be able to move your character independently, like I am now.
So for me, like it doesn't show anything. It's just a blank screen. Oh wait,
Oh,
wait, wait, wait.
yeah,
Just
the
kidding.
map
I
is
just don't know how
decently
to
large.
scroll.
Yeah. Uh, the map is a little bit big, so like there is only a small portion that's uncovered at the moment. Okay, sweet. Yeah, it looks like you can move. Perfect.
Real quick, one more thing you need to know: if you click the ruler, that's like 3 options below. You can click and drag to measure distance.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So each square is 5 feet, but that'll help you kind of like orientate if a spell says a certain range or your movement speed. Like, oh, I can move 30 feet per turn. That'll let you know how far you can make it, sort of thing.
Okay.
And if
each
the
square is 5 feet.
yeah, and if the names in the bottom left are too big, like kind of taking up a bunch of your space, if you click the little 3 bars over in the top right-hand corner, you can go to the settings wheel and then go down to audio and video and then hit video display. And then there's one that says player video avatar size. You can use that drop down to change it to names only so that it doesn't take up too much space.
Or the video size? Or
Uh,
oh, location you said.
oh, I guess.
Yeah, under settings, you'll go to audio and video, and there's another bubble next to that called video display.
Mm-hmm.
And then use the drop down there.
Video,
Avatar size.
Oh, okay.
And then click names only.
And that just makes it
Okay.
where it's 1 bar instead of a big box.
Okay.
Perfect. And if you have any other questions, Colton is very familiar with Roll20, so we can kind of. I like to think that I know what I'm doing, but we should be able to coach you through anything that's going on there. All right. As you guys kind of get to the bottom of the stairs, which is this kind of like yellow bar right to the right side of your characters, you enter into the bottom here, and you can see that there's a huge 20-foot diameter crater, which is this dark gray in the center, which you can see is clearly from where Steel Talon landed after leaping down through the 30-floor drop.
Okay.
This room itself is very bare and just like the typical industrial room. The lighting is dim, and there seems to be kind of like a layer of dust from a lack of exposure from any other creatures. Because of this, you can clearly see footprints heading up towards the top of the room there, leading into a nearby hallway.
You said footprints?
Yeah, like the dragon as he walked out of his crater.
Okay, so it's not humanoid shaped. It's like, okay.
You assume it's Steel Talon because it's literally just dragon style footprints.
Which you've already fought, right? Like you've already dealt with this thing.
Well, I have dealt with it, but I did not terminate it. It got away.
Okay.
So I'll walk like 10 feet into the room, and I'll turn back to Raia. It looks like it may have made a little bit of a kunk in the center of the room, and it goes forward. Maybe we should follow the trail.
Okay.
All right. Feel free to move your characters at will at the moment. Don't worry too much about your movement speed because we're not in combat. So however far you want to move up, and then I'll adjust Fog of War as you guys get closer to things.
I'll move up to the corner here where I've placed myself. Does it like right here actually? Am I able to sort of peek my head around the corner without like sticking my head out? I mean my whole body out.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's just an open hallway, so There's not. I messed up whenever I drew it, so there's not actually a door there. Uh,
Oh, okay.
so as you kind of get there, um, you can see. Wait, what? Your vision. You have low light. How far is it? 60 feet.
Let me check. I think so. Shit. Where would I find that? Is that in
Should be.
traits?
Yeah, I think it's off to the left-hand side on your character sheet.
Oh. Dark vision, actually.
Okay, 60 feet.
60 feet.
How did
Okay.
you find that? In the
It-
quick?
When you, on quick, you go down below your skills and it's their senses. And there it should be able to tell you if you have dark vision or not.
Okay.
John, from that vantage point, it's now revealed you can see all the way down to an intersection in the far end of the hallway. There is a door off to the left-hand side, about a third of the way down the hallway.
I turn over to Raia and I say, maybe this is a bad time to bring it up, but I am not incredibly sneaky. In fact, I'm not that quiet at all, but maybe it will behoove us to move quietly from now on.
Okay, do you need me to go ahead of you just in case?
Maybe, just in case if I'm too loud of a gosh dang robot.
Okay.
And I want to try and stealth down this hallway. Make sure nobody hears us coming.
Okay, both of you give me a stealth roll.
Okay. Oh, I only have a +2. Oh, not great, but it's an 11.
Let's see. 18.
Oh,
Nice.
solid.
Good.
Even with your 11, John, there doesn't seem to be any sort of interaction as you guys are moving down the hallway. Are you guys doing anything with the door there on your left-hand side? It appears to be locked.
Okay. Does Raia try to open it, and that's why we know it's locked?
Probably.
You could tell it appears to be locked because most of the doors in the station automatically open.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Is it a door that looks like it's been used?
I mean, this
Because
entire.
if we have
Oh, sorry.
dust.
Yeah, there's a
Sorry,
layer of
if-
dust. Pretty much this entire section seems to be kind of not just run down, but like it hasn't been inhabited or people like actively using it in a very long time.
Other than those footprints, but okay.
Right. Obviously, Steel Talon considers this maybe like a safe place for him. But as far as that, there's no other
Okay.
indication of anything moving down here.
When we stop at this door, can I like pull some R2D2 shit out and just like open up like my fingertips and try to like mechanically open up the door?
Yes. Give me an engineering check.
Engineering. Okay.
Or
I got a
computers.
+5. No, I'll take engineering. That's a 22.
Oh, nice. So, yeah, you kind of like your finger inserts in, kind of like does the back and forth, and then
Cool.
the door opens.
Fuck yeah!
As
Okay.
soon as the door opens, you guys are greeted
Oh my god. By
with
what?
2 cyber rats.
Cyber rats!
These rats seem to be a hybrid of technology and flesh, with about half of their body mass being some sort of technological components. It almost seems like the technological components are what is keeping these creatures moving. The flesh on them seem to be kind of like rotting partially.
Oh man, so it's like that Pickle Rick episode of Rick and Morty.
Zombie rat.
Please roll for initiative.
Oh shit, here we go. Mechanical rats, everybody, level 2. Level 2. Okay, that's going to be initiative. That's a 15 for me.
Okay. Give me
I
just a
have.
sec.
Do you need me to?
Yes. So when we call for initiative, I guess we've only done this twice. For you, that is
It's
going to
basically
determine
your
the
turn
order of
in
us
combat.
and the rats in combat.
Okay.
Yeah, like your initiative represents like how fast you're able to act.
Okay. I have an 18.
Oh, nice.
Hey, not bad.
Yeah, I get all
That's-
these high ones today. Watch, but next time we do this, I'm gonna have like low ones.
Right, that's how it goes usually.
Okay. Let me pull up their sheet real quick and roll. I'll get to use my nice metal
Special
dice.
die.
Yeah.
Did you get your 3D printer fixed?
Yes. We
Nice.
it kind of helped that my wife was back. So we're gonna have
Oh
Raia.
yay!
You're up first with John, followed by the two cyber rats.
Cool.
Okay.
So
So run it through me again, because I get an action move.
okay, so
Yes.
it's broken up. So you have a
Freeze.
a action which is like attacking using magic, those types of things. A move action which is like physically moving your character, and then there is a swift action which is like reloading if you're using a like ranged weapon that requires a certain type of ammunition. Um,
The mild type of.
yeah, so like if you're using like a sniper rifle, you get like 3 rounds before you need to reload the stock or whatever. I think even in
Mhm.
John's weapon, I think he gets a certain amount of charges before he would need to reload,
Yeah.
or it's a battery capacity, so you would need to replace batteries if you used up all those charges. There should be on your
Okay.
character sheet a thing that'll kind of like
Actions.
give you like a reminder of what your options are, but as of right now, so the yellow, right. Let me switch over to pointer. The yellow right here is the door. So the door is only a 5-foot entry. So right now, you would need to move over to like where John's at, and then in to get into the room. And
Okay.
even line of sight, you would probably need to move behind John to get line of sight into the room.
So the
Yeah,
door is right here.
Yeah.
You could. I mean, you could go in there. I'm not like blocking the way. You just can't stay in the same square. Basically.
Okay. So combat. So I already have my sword.
Yep. So you
So
already
I'm
had your
gonna,
sword
I
out.
guess. Yep. So I'm gonna go with that since it's already so close range.
Okay. Roll to hit.
So it's a D20 plus your attacking modifier.
So in the
by your
weapons,
sword.
there should be in the attack column. You can just hit that, and it should auto roll with your modifier.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Is that with the melee?
Yep.
Or the?
Yeah, it should actually have your like your dueling sword as one of the things, but
Okay. I got a 14.
Nice.
perfect. Roll for damage.
Nice. Kill him.
Ooh, I got an 8.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
bad.
I only got an 8 at level 2.
Is that bad or good?
No,
that's
that's a
good.
solid hit
Oh, it's
at level
good.
2.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm just used to all these high numbers.
Right.
Okay, so as you use your dueling sword on the cyber rat, you connect solidly. It's almost like that junction in the neck, and like you could tell that like the rotting flesh on this like cyber rat kind of like gives easy under the pressure of the sword. The rat is still standing, but you can tell that like the servo like of the robotic portions of it kind of like as it like creaks as it's moving now.
Jeez.
Wow.
Do you want to use
Okay.
any of
Okay.
your additional movement? Because I think that was only what, like 15 feet of your movement.
Yeah.
Moving away could cause an opportunity attack for the rats since both of them have reach on you at this moment, which means they could attack at you. But if you would like to move, you do have that as an option.
I do want to move just to put some space between us.
Okay.
Go for it.
Can I move kitty corner?
Yeah.
Or do I
technically.
need to stay inside the box?
No. I mean, technically, your path would look like this: bam, bam, bam. But like, it's still legal. Yeah.
Yeah. That is
Okay.
so basically what it is, instead of consuming 5 feet to move diagonally, you consume 15 to make that movement. But if I'm not mistaken, you
Oh,
had
I
30 feet to move to begin with.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me roll for the cyber
So
rats
an attack of
to.
opportunity is like when you like leave them, it's like you're distracted enough for them to be able to like try to hit you while you leave their space. You know what I mean? But they're just rats. We're fine.
Does a 9 hit? Look at your
No way.
KAC. So it's going to be up in the top left hand of your character sheet. I'm pretty sure it's not going to
Okay.
hit, but
Skills.
I have a 16.
yep,
Oh
didn't
yeah,
think so.
you're fucking fine. Yeah.
And does a 20 will hit then.
Oh shit, they got one of them. Got you.
So
Dang.
as you're leaving your spot there, one of the cyber rats gets a pretty solid lock on you and nicks you for 6 piercing damage.
Ooh! Ouch!
Jeez. Okay.
Damn, that's a hit.
In addition to that, please give me a Constitution roll.
Oh, that's some
Because-
poisonous rats.
It's more the filth.
Yeah, because you haven't had your recent tetanus shots, you're gonna have to make this safe.
Well, there is still the flesh component of it. So kind of like picture like on the rat, like half of its face is like actual flesh, and
Yeah,
like
it's like cyborg.
yeah.
Oh.
How do I do a constitution roll?
Just click on the Constitution, so it's be CON in your ability scores section.
Oh, in the ability. CON. I got an 18.
Oh, you crushed it.
Nice.
So aside from the bite, nothing else happens there. So you're able to kind of back out of the room. John Smith,
Cool.
you are up.
So I will sort of, I'll see that, that Raia, though she's a book nerd, fucking pulls out the sword and slashes at the rat. And as she pulls out of the room, I'll just go down on one knee and just kind of take a shot with my rifle here. And that will be a 12 to hit.
12 hits. Meets it, beats it.
Nice. Okay, so that's going to be 6 damage.
Are you attacking the same one that Raia hit with the longsword?
Yes. Uh-huh.
How do you want to end this?
I'll just like, so I'll shoot it, but the blast from the gun isn't enough to like obliterate it. However, it's enough to obliterate the fleshy parts. So like when the rat hits the wall behind, what remains is only the mechanical parts.
Oh, brutal. Did you target this one here or this one here, Raia?
I think since I was here, he was right by the door. I probably would have gone. Probably this one. Oh, sorry. Probably the top one.
Okay, perfect. So that one is now dead. The rat's turn.
I'll end my turn by just moving back 5 feet.
Okay. Seeing as you just took out its friend, the rat's going to move out and make a bite attack at you, John.
Sure. Right as he lunges out to me, I say, "I'm sorry, rat friend. I know that you usually fond of having a pair.
Does a 16 hit?
Just barely.
For 2 piercing, and please give me the con save as well.
Okay. 22.
Oh, crushed it. So the cyber rat kind of lunges at you, and it's not used to coming up against another creature that's got a lot of
Metallic
like
parts.
mechanical components. So while it gets a good bite on you, it doesn't cinch down as much, and it kind of like almost hurts the teeth of the rat as much as it does you.
Yeah, part of the reason why it's unsuccessful, I'll say like a little tiny robot arm sticks out of wherever near the rat had bit me, and it just shocks it to get it away.
All right,
Really?
Raia, you're up.
Okay. I would like to use my new weapon,
Oh
the Carbon
yeah.
Edge,
Okay.
and I would like to throw one at
Yes.
them.
Nail him in the
Perfect.
head.
What type of
So
damage is
then,
it?
let's see.
The reason why I'm asking is it determines what type of um, AC it targets. So if it's an energy attack, it targets my EAC. If it's a kinetic, like physical, piercing, bludgeoning, those types of things, it targets KAC.
Okay, so the strength it's a strength ability. Dice is 1 count, 4 Ps.
Oh, is it not just a ranged attack?
I thought it was.
Oh, you know what? I can look at your
I
character sheet to kind of get a better gauge for this.
Yeah.
Give me just a
So it's a
sec.
-2 override. I don't know if that answers your question.
Oh, that just might mean you're not proficient with the weapon. Let me look here. Oh yeah, you're not proficient. That's why it's got a -2. So yeah, the -2 is for your attack roll. So when you roll it, it'll be a -2 on the d20. It's piercing,
Okay.
and if you crit, it has a bleed effect. So it'll target my KAC. So go ahead and roll to hit.
For KAC?
Yeah, so that's just for me to know what to compare it to whenever you roll your dice to see if it
Okay.
actually hits.
Oh, hold on. Let me go back.
So you just click that -2 and it should roll for you.
Okay. Hold on, my computer. I got an 8.
Unfortunately, and it's probably
Oh
due to like
no! No!
these are brand new. You've never used them before.
Yeah, you gotta warm them up.
You kind of like pull out the shuriken. The timidness, just because you don't like using weapons, you kind of like flick it just instinctively, and it kind of like flies above the rat's head, kind of bouncing off the wall and clattering into the floor.
Nice one. As I call out.
Now is not the time, John.
Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
So I use my. Can I do another attack?
Yes, you can
Or since I
use.
already technically used it?
No, you can use. So it's called a full action. So if you only take the attack action on your turn, you can attack twice. There is
Okay.
a -4 on the top of your roll whenever you do that, but you
Oh,
can make it
Okay.
another attack. So you can roll
So you-
again
Um.
with
But
the.
it's -6.
Yeah. Or you can roll with
Shit.
your sword.
Oh yeah, you can attack with your sword.
So you'll have your
Yeah,
positive
I'd rather.
modifier, and then whatever you roll, just subtract 4 from it after that.
Okay, let's do that. So let's do the sword.
Kill him. Kill him.
Okay, not worth it. I rolled a 2.
Oh
Ooh.
my god, that means you rolled a -2.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So like, as you kind of like,
Shit.
you
I'm
realize
useless. I'm trash.
you kind of got like the shurikens, and you kind of like quickly like put them back in to the box, and you switch over to your sword, but you kind of like fumble with the hilt as you like switch
Oh,
back to your
shit.
sword, just because you're in a hurry, like kind of self-conscious that John just saw you throw the shuriken into the wall, and then like as you kind of like look up at him as like you're making this sweeping action, and like almost like you were targeting something taller than this rat, and like kind of just whiff over the top of its head.
Yeah, I thought I kind of ducked my head.
No.
No, I know, I just did.
All right, John, it's your turn.
Okay, so I will.
It's all you, bro. It's all you.
I got this, and I do a tasteful dodge roll 5 feet away. And as I do that, I'll land on one knee and just take another shot with my boomer rifle. And that will be a 22 to. Oh, actually, that will be a 10 to hit.
A 10 to hit. That's electricity, right? For the damage type.
Oh, the damage. Oh, hold on.
I should have asked this last
Damage.
turn, but
It's sonic.
oh, okay. Yeah, so it's targeting EAC. So that hits. Roll for damage.
Oh shit, that hits. Okay, cool. Kill him. 11 points of damage.
Oh shit, that's a solid.
Yeah, it sure is.
This rat is barely standing. It's almost as that sonic blow hit, it kind of like rattles like the electronics in the servos and everything and the rat. So like there's not any necessary you kind of like see like blood come out of like the flesh part of like the ear as it kind of like breaks the eardrums.
Raia, I appear to have deafened the creature. The next blow ought to do it, and I'll end my turn looking at the rat.
The
Okay.
rat, seeing that Raia is the closest thing to it, is going to make an attack
Oh shit.
on
Miss,
you.
Miss.
Does a 12
No!
hit. And this is your KAC.
No way, dude.
I don't think so.
it
You
was
said 16, right?
before.
Everything my business will ever need.
Yeah.
Is just a click away.
Oh,
Perfect.
yeah, see,
So
look,
the
see,
rat kind of it's almost sluggish after taking that sonic blow, so it's just not able to like reach out fast enough.
Oh.
Raia,
It's all
you are up.
to you, Raia. It's all up to you. Kill it.
Okay, let's see. What else? What other weapons do I have? There's nothing electrical on him, right? Does he have an earpiece or anything?
There's plenty electrical on him. Half of his body is a robot.
Oh shit.
So if you're wanting to
okay,
use Jolting Surge to fucking
Oh,
zap the shit out of this,
Jolting
by all
Surge?
means.
What does that mean?
I think it's the plasma claw, right? Or are we confusing?
No, Jolting Surge is one of your spells.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, you're a
Oh.
I forgot
spellcaster.
I have
You're
spells.
a spellcaster?
Man, listen.
Yeah, she's a technomancer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Oh.
gonna do that. I'm gonna use my Jolting Surge.
Oh, fuck
Okay.
yeah. Kill
It's what?
this rat, dude.
That's a save, right? Let's look. I can help you walk through this. Class features. Or not class features. It's down at the bottom on this one, isn't it? There's spells. Yep. Jolting Surge.
Wow.
So you're going to reach out and touch this rat, or at least the technological. Roll me a melee attack.
Okay. Switch over.
So that should just be a +2, so you can just hit the +2 in the attack column.
I got a 7.
Oh no!
I'm not doing good on these attacks.
Oh no, dude! 7? Does that hit, DM?
But you did extensive damage last one, so.
Yeah, maybe it's enough.
Unfortunately,
No!
because you do get because he's a robot, you did get a +2 bonus on that attack roll in addition to the 2 that you already had. But unfortunately, instead of grabbing the like robot parts, because you like instinctively reached out like you did during the last fight with the Bolidias, you kind of get your hand onto the rotten flesh instead, and there's just nothing for the magic to hold on to actually surge electricity into. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn? So you still have your swift action and your move action.
I'm gonna do my move action. It's only 1 square, right? 5.
You have all of your movement speed. So
I could do up to 30.
Yep.
Which is like
The
5
entire
squares?
length of the hallway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I need you to move. I'm gonna at least. Oh gosh, I don't even know. At this point, I'm feeling so bad that I'm freaking out, and I'm gonna back away.
Okay.
I'm gonna do at least 15 yards.
Okay.
Cool.
Do you have low light or dark vision?
I
might
don't
not.
think so. I don't think I have.
So we'll
any
go
of that.
Fog of War.
Mm-mm.
So we're like
I
fucking fighting, and she's like fighting in the dark for her perspective, basically.
Yeah, I think technically there's probably
Hey,
some disadvantage stuff that
that's
should be
why-
happening,
You know
but it's
what?
fine.
That's
When you
why
put
you're
it that
missing
way,
Yeah.
when you put it that way, I don't feel like I'm doing so bad
out.
anyway.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Just a sec. The rat will get opportunity to attack.
We'll see.
I'm so mad.
14 doesn't hit, so you're good.
No,
it's not
it
able
does
to
not.
chomp down beforehand. John Smith, it is your turn.
Okay. I can see that Raia is starting to panic, and I say, "Do not panic. Trust me. Watch this." And I just go in for like a fucking, and I shoot off another shot from my boomer blaster, and for a attack of 15.
Okay, roll for damage.
8 points of damage.
Oh, crushing it. How do you want to end this rat?
So like I'll shoot this rat, and because of like the sonic force type of damage, it sort of sends the rat further down the hallway, kind of hitting Raia.
Oh my god.
And it kind of slunks off to the side.
Like insult to injury.
Yeah.
You know what? I deserve it. I'm not even gonna deny that action. I deserve it.
Oh, man.
It just like hits you and slides on the face.
All right. Let me pull up my notes here.
I'm so mad.
All right.
Hey, it happens. I'm sorry.
That ends combat for now. Both of the cyber rats that were in this room have been killed. Would you guys like to check inside said room?
I think to end
Yes.
things off, I think that might be a good thing to
Perfect.
do.
As you guys head
Oh.
into this little storage room, once again, it's kind of just this like filthy sort of room, especially with these 2 cyber rats in here. It's kind of got a little bit of a stink because, like you saw, the flesh on these creatures was kind of like starting to rot a little bit.
Yeah.
But over in the corner, you actually pick up an Aeon stone. It's an iridescent spindle. Essentially, what this thing does, and you can find it, it's a CR2 item. This item negates the need to breathe. So what these stones do is they kind of like
Oh.
hover above your head in like orbits and will apply the magical benefits.
Cool.
Okay.
I look over to Raya and I say, "Fortunately, I do not require to breathe anymore. So please, you take this, and I'll just kind of gesture towards you."
Okay. So Raya, if you'd like to add this to your inventory, it's AEON stone, and then you're going to look for the iridescent spindle. So it's IRIDESCENT. It should be a CR2 item. And you can go ahead and add
Hold
that.
on. Say that one more time. AEON.
ON. Yeah, and I think it's under items, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. So you can add that to your inventory. You can choose to
And you
equip it
said
if you'd
it's a
like.
stone.
Yeah, Aeon stone, iridescent spindle.
It only shows alabaster helix and hyperboloid.
Oh, give me just a sec.
Oh, search is limited to only 10 items. Lame. Then
So it should be. You might have to go to like the actual edit one.
yeah, 8 Aeon stone. Nope.
He might be able to do it for you here in a second.
Yeah, give me. I'm looking to see if I can. I know it exists because I QC'd all this before I did it, but
Yeah.
so it should be item, and then if you type in AEON stone, and then I think I filtered it down so it was there. That one. So if you filter it to level 2, it should pull up that as the only option when you type in Aeon stone.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
How'd you get to that point? Because I'm on add
So go
item.
to the creator
Okay, that's why.
and then equipment. Yeah, the search
Okay.
is not overly. Yeah, if you're
Aeon
using it from the
stone.
character
I
sheet.
see what they're doing here, but D&D Beyond figured it out, I think.
Yeah, I think this is a fan made one because the
Oh, I
company
see.
that made Starfinder is Pazio.
Oh, I see.
Were you able to find it now?
No, it's not populating for me.
Let me-
And it's normal.
Can you add it
Level
for her?
2.
No, I can only pull up character sheets, so like it's a read only essentially.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. I might have. Hold on. Because it's an item, right?
Yeah, you have to click. Yeah, it. Some of the things on here
Okay.
aren't like overly user friendly because like you have to select the item, otherwise it doesn't pull up, and then
Yeah. Okay, and it's iridescent spindle.
Yep, that one there. So you can just hit add to inventory, and then you can choose to equip it or not, but at least have it in your inventory so that way I don't forget about it.
Yeah.
Okay. How can I buy it without?
There should be an
Buying
option
it.
that just says add to inventory. Like when you hit the buy button on the drop down, there should be
Oh,
one
I
that just
see.
That way you don't have to actually spend credits.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. So save.
And like Colton said, we're gonna end it here tonight since we're closing in on 11.